Excellent. So we're jumping into game number 1. We have Viper versus Hera on Arabia. In the blue towards the north of the map, we do have the Viper as the Aztecs. Towards the south in the red, we do have Hera as the Huns. How's that feel? About right?
I mean, I kind of expected Huns or Janice from Hera, so it doesn't surprise me too much. And from Viper Aztecs, kind of he'd surprise, but then again, he probably wants to try Aztecs, see how they feel. And maybe he thinks Aztecs has the best safe on Arabia. I mean, they used to be meta before, so...
A lot of options they can kind of present to themselves, so you've got a lot of ways you can take it.
So, yeah.
And let's have a quick look at the positioning. For Viper, we've already got a gold in the back. Then over towards the north, he's got one wood line, and towards east as well, secondary wood line there. Both looking like a lot of these resources are towards the back for him. Then we've also got a stone over towards the west as well. Not exactly like he's going to be needing to get that castle down super quickly, but always nice to have some back resources like that. And then does have a berry bush set up towards the south as well.
Yeah, pretty decent map for Viper. A very good map, actually. Back stone, back gold, 2 back woods. Pretty perfect, actually. Pretty easy to wall as well.
We've got Hera down towards the south in the red. Does have a wood line there in the south. Over towards the east, does have a gold, and another gold towards further north as well that he does have the option to work with. Then berry bushes again towards the front, but an extra gold in, or sorry, a stone in the south of the map there.
Yeah, Hera's map isn't bad either, although it's definitely worse than Viper's since he has 2 golds forward, berries and stone. So he's kinda lacking, or kinda risky for him to play anything but mad arms, just because of the risk of getting forwarded and by losing all this control of the resources. But he has a back gold, which he can protect by some walls, so it's not that bad.
So I guess if you had to kind of pick at the moment, whose base or layout would you kind of prefer to have a little bit?
I would definitely choose Viper's position. He can just do whatever he wants, like he can basically just full wall to HFC or be aggressive, considering he sees Hera's map and Hera's resources.
So we've got a little bit of a position advantage here for Viper, which I guess we're kind of used to seeing in tournaments, right?
Yeah, of course, man, of course. Give me something new.
We've also got Viper pushing in a couple of deer towards the town center as well, so that kind of puts him in a little bit of a nicer position there. And then over towards Hera as well, just starting to transition onto his berries here, does have 4 lumberjacks working away as well, compared to the 3 of Viper.
I wonder what those 3 wheels on wood for Viper mean. Doesn't mean he's gonna go fast rush or anything.
Yep.
As he will have less wheels on wood.
Mill just starting to finish up for Viper now as well. Mill finishing up for Hera. Across the resources at the moment, population-wise, looking pretty much even overall. 3rd villager moving towards berries for Hera, and Viper, we've got the 3rd one pretty much on point as well. We do have these little bit of extra herdables coming in from Viper here, or I just guess animals at this stage, not so much herd.
Yeah, Viper already knows where Hera is. He explored 1 tile of the berry bush, so he has an idea where he's gonna be. Also explored his deers. No. Yeah, his deers and 1 of his golds.
Is looking for the lane on the villager though towards Viper as well, just scouting out that villager as it comes up, and Viper notices it. Hera though just gonna keep moving by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So do you think he was looking for the pick there, or did it just kind of lucky situation?
I definitely think he's trying to go for, well, I think he's going for the lane. Yeah, he's running back and forth, so he's definitely watching the situation. So, yeah.
We do have Viper moving over with the Eagle Warrior as well, just to prevent the lame in case it was going to happen, but Hera's Scout far out of the situation now as well.
Yeah, so Viper had to bring back his Scout just in case Hera was going for a lame after all, so safe play by both there.
Barracks getting dropped down by Hera now, back at home as well. And walling him in just in case. Eagle Warrior is starting to move out on the prowl, however, for Viper.
Yeah. You usually see this barrack from Aztecs wanting to go for mad arms most likely, since you build a barrack that fast. Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Hera also going for a barracks, so probably indicates mad arms as well. Yeah, he's going on gold as well, so pretty safe to say he's going mad arms.
There we go, mining camp coming down for Hera as well. And how are we looking in terms of a wall-off situation here? Viper's already starting over towards the west of his base here, going to be able to wall along here if he wants to exclude this gold. As for Hera, like you were saying earlier in terms of the map situation, can wall it in, but again it's a little bit more open.
Yeah, also he has 2 goals forward, so that's pretty awkward to wall. You kinda need a tower there if you want to fully wall. So I just prefer his option to go aggressive with man-at-arms.
Absolutely. Viper, 2 man-at-arms out already, however, getting scouted by Hera towards the top there, and Scout's going to get pushed away, so is the initial drush from Hera as well. Going to need to regroup, get a couple more units in play before he can really push out across the map.
Yeah, gonna be man-at-arms for both. I wonder how many man-at-arms, or militias in this case, Viper will make. Since he can make 5, since he has 50 gold extra. It seems like he's only going for 3. And he wants to add more, because he's going on gold right now.
Alright. So when it comes to the micromanagement here as well, who have you kind of got your faith in a little bit more? You've played against both these players, one of them being a teammate. Who do you kind of expect is going to have a better chance of kind of making this?
Well, obviously, micro for both players are very good. But in this case, I will favor Hera's situation, just because he has the Feudal Age Scout.
Yep.
And Scout is just a bit better in Feudal Age than the Eagle, because it has 1 more attack, and it's faster as well, so you have the mobility a bit. So, yeah. If both fight, I think Hera's gonna take it, or should take it.
Gotcha,
rather.
and looks like, oop, there we go, man-at-arms for Viper already in play. Should be coming through for Hera any second here, but Viper's looking to get aggressive. Good quick wall there from Hera though to stop that.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Viper wants. He just wants to buy time, because he knows he's not gonna win the battle 3 against 4. So he's just trying to go to Hera's base, make him chase him, so he buys enough time to get his archers / skirms out.
So as you've said, Hera did take the win there pretty convincingly as well, but he did have the number advantage. But now Hera's going to be able to move out across the middle of the map here towards Viper. But like you were saying, the archer transition is already underway for Viper. So he's been able to kind of buy that time that he was looking for with the man-at-arms. And then from there, hopefully we'll be able to push this back without taking any real damage.
So he's going for 1 archer straight into skirms, which makes sense. 1 archer to defend against the 2 man-at-arms from Hera. And then skirms right away, because you don't have the gold to produce non-stop archers, and obviously your opponent is gonna go skirms as well, most likely.
So with these kind of remaining man-at-arms that are on the field at the moment, what's kind of the best play you could really use to utilize those? Is it one of those things where you just kind of get in and be a little bit more disruptive with it, really hope you can kind of do any damage there, or is it just time is past now?
Well, it's obviously very hard to make damage as the game goes on with man-at-arms, since because they're just so slow, and you can always just run away from them. But with having the scout alive, it's definitely a bit easier to make damage, since you can explore where to hit now. And as you can see, Hera is moving into his wood line. So Viper has to quick wall. This is just distracting as well. This is like little nice win for Hera. Forced out some resources, forced out some attention. While his eco is completely untouched.
So just try and get in there as much as possible. Like you were saying, the quick walls from Viper, absolutely spot on here. Makes it pretty much impossible to do any damage. And that archer, like you were saying, or 2 archers, 3 archers, 2 skirmishers, gonna come in, they'll be able to push them away like nobody's business.
Exactly. So now basically the time is over to do damage to man-at-arms. Everything is walled in, he has archers out, army to clear it. But like I said, he bought enough time to get his own skirms out. Now he will just, I think, focus on economy. Try to go up faster and then just switch to knights. Hera's case.
Alright, well, we've got Hera going down with the double archery as well. So is that a little bit of a commitment in your opinion?
Yeah, it definitely says that he wants to make more units, while he's also going to Castle Age sooner, so... He definitely doesn't only want to go 1 archery range and then just make a few skirms to defend against the archers into knights. He wants to go full for archery range units, so... As you can see, he's trying to attack from the north with man-at-arms again, while he's moving in with his skirms. Actually, he's going back.
We've actually got a good raid on the gold mine as well happening here from Hera. Imagine just find some kind of use of those man-at-arms and even blocking it with the scout. Very close to getting a kill there, but we do have a couple of extra Eagle Warriors in play from Viper here as well now.
Yeah, it's just also just natural transition. Obviously, you know your opponent will go skirms mostly. Because obviously you're Aztecs, you don't have any scouts. And nice snipe there by Hera on his farms. Really cute. Actually, I'm a bit ahead. slow down.
No, that was absolutely spot on. Well seen. But yes, very, very good pick there. Hera just trying to make the most of every unit he's got in play right now. Those men-at-arms, like we were talking about earlier, not completely useless, but very, very hard to make something happen with. So being able to kind of get in there, get a villager pick, just force some, I guess, rebuilding of some of the quick walls, makes things very, very hard. But Viper now, moving around the side of the map, trying to find somewhere to poke, prod, do a little bit of damage here against Viper, but Hera's looking like he's starting to be just about fully walled.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this wall, kind of letting him expose on his wood line. And did he leave a hole there? The last tile? On the wall? I think there's a hole, right? No, there's a hole actually. No, on the other side, left side.
Other side?
There's a hole, right? Is this a bug or something? Cause
look, definitely a little old hole there,
definitely a
that's
hole,
for sure.
that would be pretty bad if you went in there.
Look, I guess we'll find out in a minute. Viper's units are literally just sitting over here waiting for it, so if he runs through there, I guess we'll know.
Yeah.
Where's that villager gone?
Maybe Viper wants to wait till cast Lich of those units, but I don't think... Well, it seems like it actually. He's probably expecting Hera to be fully walled, not being able to make any damage, so he just waits till cast Lich and he can reach some wood, some lumberjacks from the wood line, which makes sense.
Rest of the walls coming in from Hera pretty quickly here. Looks like he is getting some extra exploration around the map as well here, so doing a really good job to kind of get rid of as much of that as possible and just know what he kind of has to deal with. So Viper scouting now. And then we'll jump over to Hera's as well. You can see starting to get all that extra information in.
It seems like Viper is flooding resources to get up to cast Lich, but Hera is already advancing to cast Lich, so he's definitely ahead in economy-wise. But Viper has the army advantage, but he can't really use it because Hera is fully walled. And Hera is mostly going for archers actually, pretty surprising. So I guess he will switch to knights, would be my guess in cast Lich. Although he doesn't really have the most farms, considering his hands. So he might just go skirms archers, which I'm not really a fan of against Aztecs, against Metal Sieves. Let's see how this plays out.
So loses quite a few units here in the middle as well. Hera getting some really good picks. In the back, however, we do have the archers making appearance on the wood line. Gets two villagers, forces him off the farms as well.
Yeah.
Not what we want to see there, but at the same time, Viper really starting to take the advantages. However, did lose a good chunk of units towards the middle there. So military at the moment, we've got 19 for Hera, 10 for Viper, but overall villager population-wise, 35 for Hera, 41 for Viper. Starting to get himself a small lead here.
Yeah, this hole was just very unfortunate. If it wasn't for this hole, I think I would favor Hera's position, but now obviously he's losing quite a lot of archers. These few skirms and archers. And obviously lost a lot of eco as well, lost like 4 villages maybe. And a lot of idle time as well, so... He could have been in a way better position, let's say it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a shame that we did have that hole there nice and early. So at this stage, whose court do you think the ball's kind of in to make the move here? Does Hera really kind of need to mix things up and push out for a little bit of more of an advantage?
I definitely think Hera should try to make something happen now, because obviously he's fast up to cast Lich. He also lost like 4 or 5 vills with quite some idle time, and you know Aztec's economy. So he should know that he's a bit behind.
Yep.
But like I said, he can't really be aggressive if this army alone. He only has like what, 15 archers?
Yeah, about the military count's still super similar, essentially, considering how many units we saw get lost there for Viper. He just made some great trades against the villagers.
Now he's going Kev archers. I'm not really a fan of this, honestly. He still needs a stable anyway to make bloodlines and husbandry to make the Kev archers strong. And the Aztecs can just switch into skirms eagles pretty easily, or like just crossbows eagles. They do fine against Kev archers.
Alright, looks like we've got Hera going for that raid, really trying to make something happen like we were talking about before. Crossbow about to pop in. Viper has managed to get his walls up now and pulls the villagers from the woodline where they could potentially be sniped from as well. Hera trying to make an opening here towards the north.
And this allows Viper to go elite skirms, which is very effective in this case, because Hera is obviously going Kev archers. He already saw 2 Kev archers sniping his skirms. So this just makes Viper's units more effective, which... That's the problem I have with Hera's composition. It all just gets countered by skirms archers, which is exactly what Aztecs wants to do.
And then behind this as well, we can see the university over here towards the east side of the map has actually got ballistics down already in terms of the researchers. We can see that on the right-hand side of the screen. And like you were saying, elite skirmisher, we've even got the extra armor coming down behind that as well. Really looking like he's in a good position here to be able to cancel this one out and really kind of start putting those nails in the coffin towards Hera.
Yeah, good decision by him not going in, since he knew Hera obviously, I mean, Viper obviously has some defense units prepared and he will probably get trapped, so good aware from him.
We do have a second town center, however, up for Hera as well. Just doing a little bit of a look around. Looks like he's going for a third one too, so we'll try and get the boom up behind this one. Viper at the moment did go for the ballistics, so hasn't had his chance to get that second town center up yet, but I guess at this stage he's kind of going to be the next one to push out, hey.
Yeah, I mean, Hera's kind of giving the opportunity to Viper to make some damage. He's not going for ballistics, no stable to make his units stronger, no third range, so he's just going for a pure boom, which I guess makes sense, because if you go all in, Castle Age with Cav Archers, crossbows doesn't really make sense against the Aztecs. You can just make skirms and archers and defend like that, so...
So at the moment, just looking to see if Hera can make any kind of a play here. Viper puts down a second town center on top of his lumber camp here as well. Going to help not only protect it from the raiders that we have coming in from this side, but it's going to be nice in terms of getting his villager population up as well. In terms of the pop though, we've got 47 to 47 villager count, pretty much dead even. Hera just starting to pull ahead now, thanks to his extra town centers.
Yeah, Viper seems like he didn't realize there's a hole after Hera broke the palisade, so that's going to be... Honestly, Hera should just go in here.
Yeah, just run around the town center. He's already got 2 kills behind it.
And you might lose like 1, 2, 3, 4 expo, but it's so worth it. And exactly, that's what he's doing. I like that.
The walls are good from Viper, however, has he got that completely walled in?
He could break the house actually. 42 HP. Ah.
That was a big loss for Hera. I get that he got a couple of villages there as well, so it has pulled him in forward a little bit more again. 53 villages now for Hera and only 46 for Viper. Viper's only just starting to get his extra town center up now as well. Did actually force that one to be basically held off on for a little bit there. However, we are getting a little bit more aggressive play here from Viper as well, moving forward with that elite skirm and crossbow composition that we were talking about earlier.
Even though it might look bad for Hera's army and the decision might have looked bad to go in there, but it was the right play, definitely. Look at Viper's economy now. He has like 7 farms running, so he has no food economy. He has 800 gold. He made some stone gates, so it means he also has to buy stone to make a 30C. And the only thing Viper has going for him is his army, the lead skirms, which are super hard to kill for Hera, which is why I didn't like the Cav Archer approach. Because what do you have now against skirms? You can have to do mangonels, but those also feel awkward to go to play against Viper, because he can just run away and micro and choose when to fight whenever he wants to, so...
Absolutely, and then to back it up even further, we've got Hera who's been sitting on 3 TCs pretty much this entire time while Viper's been struggling to get his second one up. Doesn't exactly make things easy for him.
Yeah. And now Hera's doing the stable. He might be ahead in economy, but the situation... I would say like 10 villas of Hera are pretty much not working properly. They're just like idling in TC, getting idle on the wood line. I will also get harassed in the other wood line from this 4 expo. This is why Knights would just be so much better instead of Cav Archers.
So we've got the Mangonel back at Hera's base as well, starting to basically deal with a lot of those skirmishes. We did have a good raid up in the top as well. Did actually deny the extra barracks coming up behind this as well. However, Viper getting a counter raid down in the south of the map did actually push units away from the lumber camp and potentially going to be getting that exactly the same just on this one here as well here.
Yeah. Although Hera is 20 vills ahead, this doesn't really feel like 20 vills, honestly. It feels like pretty even, honestly. He has like 5 vills to the island and farms. Well, now has to move his lumberjacks. If he went Knights, he would have been in a way better position. He also can't raid now, because how can you beat skirms with +2 in the ballistics? His Cav Archers are dying now, right now, so... Kinda even game, I would say. Although I would favor a bit Viper's position, because he just has all the map control.
So position in terms of that win, we're going to get it towards Viper. Hera, however, when it comes to the actual economy behind that, that's where he's got the advantage. So it's just about starting to translate that into being able to take the map control from it, invest into a composition that's really going to work and be able to push against this, and that's where he's going to kind of have the win.
Exactly. For now, his army is still useless compared to Viper's army. He has Cav Archers, missing +2, Farmbring, Ballistics, and Bloodlands as well. So he just has to switch to Knights as soon as possible. It seems like he's doing it. Actually, no, he's not yet. He's only getting Bloodlines and then Husbandry for his Cav Archers.
Yeah, because we had the one stable come up here just towards Hera's base, but at the same time, we've seen no Knight production whatsoever, whereas we've got Viper transitioning in from Skirmishers into Skirmisher Eagle from there as well. Eagles already have their upgrades as well, so looking pretty good in terms of the situation, and now the raiding begins.
Yeah, and this is pretty tough for Hera, because he needs to go Knights, kind of. Like, he has to play Knights, because Cav Archers just won't cut it against Skirms. As you can see, he's chasing down the Skirmishers on the left, but Viper's just out-microing the Mangonel heavily, just by running and shooting, so... There are Skirms everywhere, like, these Cav Archers are completely useless.
So at this stage, it's up to Hera to push this force back. Viper really starting to try and even out that village account. This is his chance right now to really try and bring this back to an even game. Yes, he did have the map control, did have a lot more military at this stage as well. 29 military units on field compared to the 10 of Hera. So looking like he's in a really good position here just to do some damage. If he starts cutting that villager number down, he's going to be in a very, very good position here.
Yeah, now he has made one... he's switching to Knights now, plus 1 armor incoming. I'm not saying it's too late, because he is obviously 25 vills ahead, but... I don't know. This looks pretty tough, because half of his economy is pretty idle.
That's it. We've got nearly between 20 to 30 villagers idle here, every chance essentially. So half of it's not working. Viper's economy at this point. We had that little bit of a raid from the crossbows earlier, but since then, pretty much untouched. Exactly,
yeah. This is the thing, when you play aggressive, your economy should be running smoothly and completely untouched, like Viper's is right now.
We've actually even got some villagers trying to fight the skirms in the back here as well, just losing more idle time to them. One knight will clean that up though, luckily. Towards the top, we've still got this eagle in the... We've still got 2 eagles in the lumber here overall. We've got 1 eagle around here, so we've just got Viper slowly moving these units across the map, pretty much trickling them in from these barracks over towards the top, and then we've got that siege workshop here as well now.
Yeah. What I'm missing from Viper is a monastery as well. He needs a monastery against the knights. Because he won't be able to push with siege against knights. I'm still waiting for that one.
So that'll be Viper's next transition. Basically move into the monastery, be able to start converting the knights, and then with that he'll basically be able to start, I guess, getting more and more aggressive again as well, continuing this raiding.
Yeah. And Viper has to keep the pressure up, because he's still... Well, he's catching up in vills now, but he's still 10 vills behind. That's Han's economy, so they're working even more efficient since they don't need houses.
Viper, though, has been making quite a bit of a difference here. We were at about 26 to 28 villages difference there before all this raiding began. It's already down to 14. Viper, though, is going to lose, like you said, that siege workshop on the front there. Did bring a battering ram in, but without any monks to really support it. Didn't have that option. He has thrown down a monastery towards the top, though, so he has realized that that transition does need to be made.
Yeah. And this will be pretty tough now for Hera to stop. Monks and eagles. Like he doesn't have any ranged units anymore to snipe the monks. So if Viper gets like 3-4 monks out and has like 5 or 10 eagles more than he has knights, it will be pretty tough to fight him. It seems like Hera's clearing this forward up pretty nicely with knights.
Viper also beginning to start collecting all the relics as well, so starting to look towards that long game, as is Viper's general plan. But here you go, the 1 monk gets the converts and starts pushing away the rest of these knights as well.
This castle is pretty huge. Wait, what? Why can't you see it actually?
You might just be a little bit further ahead.
I'm the same time as you actually, I'm just checking right now. We just placed it like 20 minutes ago
just
from me.
point of view.
Oh,
so we've got castle coming down from Viper
true,
here towards the center as well, right in the front of Hera here. Hera needs to find a way to be able to deal with this, otherwise Viper's got an amazing staging point here to work with.
1 villager, huh? That woman's gonna be tired.
This is faith in a nutshell in Age of Empires.
1 woman and 2 monks behind her.
We do have Hera expanding out across the map as well, looking for some extra gold points at this time. He realizes that he is kind of losing these ones that are on the front, like we were talking about.
Is pretty ugly for Hera.
And there comes that knight.
Yeah. Viper switching to Expo again. I like this transition, because as soon as he gets 20-30 Expo out, he can tank with Eagles while damaging the knights pretty heavily with like those amount of Expos. Obviously you also get Arbalest with Aztecs, so it's pretty efficient to switch to Expos back in the Castle Age fight.
So really just playing that very, very well. We do, however, have Hera most of the way to Imperial Age already, so that will come as quite a surprise to Viper, especially considering all the raiding and things he has done already. But we can see Viper's really starting to prepare for this. We've got Pyke on the way, and it's just keeping that spam of units in the middle of Hera's base now.
Yeah, this castle seems like it's going up, and it means Hera's third goal is completely in control of Viper. And you don't want to give Aztecs another gold, especially when it's yours. So looking pretty tough, I would say, for Hera.
So Hera will have the advantage in terms of the tech, what he's got to work with here. Still does have the economy advantage as well, but Viper just playing this one so aggressively now. He knows the position is in. He started getting his counter units out, and with this castle, really going to be able to solidify taking down this front gold here, and really be able to hold onto all those resources and really just kind of get Hera into that strangle kind of grip.
Wait, what? Hera's imp? How did that happen? How is Hera imp?
Hera's imp, man.
That?
I did.
What?
I said it as well.
Really?
I was pretty on it, hey.
I was knocked out, actually. Why would he go imp in this situation, actually? What? This makes no sense. Like, sure, you're imp now, but what do you actually get from it?
We do have a little bit of raiding coming in from Hera as well, just trying to poke prod, do a little bit of damage with that knight. Sadly getting a little bit of bad pathing here with that as well. Does manage to clean up the Pyke, but hopefully we'll start seeing the rest of the... Because we've got Cavalier bang in already, we've got the armor upgrades behind this as well. Hopefully Hera will be able to start using this tech advantage before Viper can really just get too many crossbows out to work here. But like we said, Pikes are already out, we do have the monks out. Alright, Hera's an imp. Re-evaluate, what were you thinking?
True, well... I don't think it was the right choice, honestly. Like, I completely missed it, and I was like, why isn't Hera doing units or anything? Like, Viper made a castle with one villager, when he had no controller even. Like, he didn't even have army, he had 2 monks and 1 E behind it. So if Hera went full castle age, he could have stopped the castle easily. And even pushed him back with Cav Archer's Knights, or even just Skirm's Knights, honestly. So
do you think the commitment to go to Imperial and just kind of hold it like he did bare bones style was kind of the better situation to go with?
I don't think it was the better solution for Hera, because yeah, nice, he can raid now with Cavaliers, which are obviously stronger than normal Knights, but like, the situation is still the same. He still is -1 gold, and he's running out of his last gold. He only has 500 gold left in that one, so he will be out of gold as well, so Cavalier, he won't be able to pump out Cavaliers forever. And Viper can just make Pikes and Monks to stop it.
There's a lot of Pikes already on field as well, trying to deal with as much of the raiding as possible there. He's got a good foreground here. We do have Hera starting to throw up his own castle, but we've got Viper up into Imperial as well, so the tech advantage at the moment has kind of gone.
Yeah, I mean, I still prefer Viper's position. Yes, he will have 2 castles out against 1 castle from Hera. He'll be able to kill the trap from Hera. I wonder how the trap fight will go. If Viper survives with one of those 2 castles, I think it's Viper's game.
That's it, so he's just going to kind of hold this onslaught here. Once he gets that and gets back under control, especially when it comes to the raiding. But this is a lot of Pikes we're starting to see on the field. Viper's really starting to commit to this. Does deny that castle though with the Cavalier, however.
Oh, this is quite big as well. Because if both players have even trap numbers, Hera can just focus down on Viper's traps. And if the if the Hans bonus, you get 100% accuracy, I believe.
Pretty much.
Yep, 100%, so you will always win every trap war.
Ooh, yeah. Viper did lose his Trev there as well overall towards the Cavalier, just under the castle, so he's going to say goodbye to one of those. And Trev is just about finishing up here for Hera as well, so he will be joining the Trev war.
Hera's also getting raided on the right side on his wood line. I mean, Hera's 30 wills ahead, but yeah, he's also making the way more expensive units. Like, Viper can just do Pikes and Monks, honestly. Only Pikes, and it's enough as well. While Hera has to pump out Cavaliers. And now Lightcav, which are obviously 80 food, so not really cheap either.
So at this point, we're more worried about transition into the combination he's got than anything, you reckon?
I think Hera has to kind of like get some Pyke counters out, like skirmishes probably. Which obviously feel pretty awkward as well against Aztecs who can just pump out some eels in that case.
That Trebuchet just staying alive for Viper as well. That is a lot of villages he's got on the repair there. But making sure that Treb stays and that castle from... Oh,
what? It just
castle
missed.
from Hera starting to look a little bit awkward.
I thought it was 100% accuracy. What happened? The Treb missed 2 times in a row. This is bonus. Fake.
For the record right now, I'd just like to say that Liereyy has pulled up the text screen and he doesn't believe
plus
this.
30% accuracy. I thought it was 100. What the hell? Ah. It's really over. I thought Hans were good at trap warring.
Look, it's better.
RNG, man, I'm telling you.
We've got Viper holding down the middle of the map extremely well here. He's got the pikes ready so he can actually defend against the next kind of set that comes after the trebuchet. Does get the wall up to defend against the eagle
nice
push
wall
here as well, so it works out kind of well. And at the same time, we can just see Hera gets pushed from this gold time and time again. He's just starting to choke on all his resources there.
And that's the thing, like, Hera is doing light cap against pikes, which obviously get naturally countered by pikes. So Viper gets all the map control, and he can never, like, Hera can never engage. Sure, he's winning the trap war now, but Viper still has one castle at the back. And Hera will most likely lose his castle as well. Why is he going? Why is he not going for the trap?
Well, even behind that as well, Hera has actually already lost one castle on top of that. So Viper just playing extremely efficiently here, which is kind of what Viper does. And despite the fact that Hera does have that advantage in terms of the village account, does have the pop advantage overall, the military is just way lower. He can't seem to really find anything to do with this military besides just throw it at the front of Viper's base here, which is just so hard for him to deal with.
Yeah, and Hera has no answer to this. No answer to the left side of his base, the pikes. No answer in the middle, pikes and the eagles. Looking rough. The traps aren't really helping either.
Might lose a trebuchet to pikes there as well. A couple of eagles in there. That makes things difficult. Viper does lose his front castle though. Has a second one to still work with. Can still just continue to pump out those trebs behind it as well. And it looks like the raid's about to come in from Hera as well with the light cavalry.
Yeah, but it seems like he can't really do much. Viper is fully walled after all. Viper still doesn't have the best economy. He's still lacking a lot of upgrades. +4, lead eagles. And Hera lost all his traps. Ah, that's a yikes.
That's a yikes.
Especially if no gold income.
So what's the set from here then? What can Hera do?
He has to mix in skirmishers, which he's doing right now, I believe, right? Yeah, he's adding archery ranges, has them up already. And yeah, I feel like you gotta raid Viper's gold, so he can't pump out eagles, because you can't really stop eagles at this point. Eagles and pikes. With Lycav and skirmisher.
There we go, castle goes down for Hera as well, so Hera now castleless in this engagement. Makes things very, very difficult for him to be able to deal with, because that trebuchet can just sit here and they can just keep pushing. As long as he holds this, he will hold the engagement maker essentially. And again, just like 2 eagles so raiding what Viper's so good at. In the back, we've got a pike just raiding.
That pike is tanky, man.
Yeah, all the gold spots. We do even have a couple of villages over towards the east of the map as well. Or sorry, the west.
Well, Hera could grab 2 more relics. Well, 1 more relic actually.
And looking at the numbers, the villager counts are finally starting to even up. We've got the Viper on 127, Hera on 127, and just continuing backwards as well now.
Yeah, Hera has no answer to Pike's Eagles.
Hera doing what he can, but with no access to gold at the moment, it does make things pretty hard to work with. Like you were saying, he's really only got access to the light cav, the skirmishers that he can use to try and push this one back, and Viper's just still got such a strong position. Got a couple of trebuchets left he can use to push with this one, and Viper even just starting to scout the rest of the map out, make sure there's nothing is kind of missing. Ooh, and we do spot an extra set of gold there as well that looks like Hera's just found too.
No, Viper has lead eagles as well. Getting all the upgrades, getting +4. Cap ramps, and this will be the finishing push, I believe.
So Viper at the moment just trying to look to put the nails in the coffin here, end this one, make sure Hera doesn't have an opportunity to bring it back at all. Again, just so much raiding. Viper does such a good job of this, and it's something he's very well known for, is just finding those little positions that he can do some damage with, and then making sure that he just nails every little advantage he can have.
Yeah, this is looking pretty over. Yeah.
Pike's cleaning up the rest of the light cavalry, and there we go.
I believe Hera could have won this if he didn't go for Cav Archers. Like, Cav Archers made no sense. Also,
so you think that was the real issue that we ran into there, in terms of it was just kind of the push he did? Because I remember you saying Knights was probably the optimal way to play this one out.
For sure. With Knights you just have so much mobility, and like you saw what Viper did was just basically a group of 3 Expo, 3 Elite Skirmishers fully upgraded. And Hera couldn't do anything against it. He needed a Mangonel to deal with like 3 groups of Expo and Skirms. which you can't really afford if you're getting raided. So, like 2 knights on each of those spots would have cleared up everything.
So that's it. It was just a composition error that we had there that really kind of gave him behind. Did have an amazing economy, had a fantastic hold, which eventually pulled him up into Imperial as well.
Little stuff,
but just the composition just made it a little bit harder than it kind of should have been.
Obviously, the hold was really unfortunate as well. Just stop building there.
Alright, so we will be going into game number 3, which of course is going to be Valley. So again, to just explain the way the map situation works here, game number 2 and 3 are picked by basically game number 2's higher seed pick, game number 3 is lower seed pick. But then moving into how this actually plays out, basically we will start on game 1, which is Arabia, then we'll move to the loser's map pick. So at this point, we'll be Hera on Valley. Mongols have been banned.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be... I think Hera's gonna go with either Mayans, Aztecs, or Chinese, I'm pretty sure. One of those 3.
I believe we have seen a lot of Chinese played today as well, just an overly strong civilization. So do you think Viper's kind of up for some mind games at this point? Do you think he's going to try and counter-pick behind that?
I don't really think you can counter-pick Chinese. I think Chinese are very strong right now, especially because it's one of the few civs who didn't get nerfed. And obviously has options to everything. You can go knights, you can go archers, you can go... Well, that's basically it, but you know...
Well, you've got options. That covers most of your bases, right?
It's more than most civs would have already. So yeah.
So we've got both players just preparing themselves here for game number 2, which will be Valley. Behind that, we're still waiting on the civs, so we'll see exactly what's going on here. But basically, exciting times. This has been probably one of the hype matchups of day number 1 at this point. After this as well, we still do have another set, guys, so just make sure not to go anywhere. There's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah. I wonder what they're going to pick. I wonder if Viper's going to go for the next Mesosiv, Mayans. Or maybe Hera's going to go for it.
Yep.
I have to kill time now.
And of course, for those that haven't really seen Valley before as well, essentially kind of same layout in terms of the woods, smaller woods in terms of where they actually sit. There's a large dried up lake running through the center of the map. In there you will find small puddles of shorefish, things like that, but more importantly lots of deer towards the middle of the map. So it can be quite good if you move out aggressively with a mill, make sure to get any kind of hunt there that you can really kind of work with.
Yeah, it's kind of high risk, high reward.
I think that's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Alright, and we are moving into game number 2, which will be Valley, Mongols banned. What have we got? We've got Huns versus Chinese. Towards the west of the map, in the blue, we do have TheViper playing as the Chinese. Towards the east of the map, in the red, we do have Hera playing as the Huns. Oh, sorry.
Other way around.
Other way around,
almost,
you're bang
almost.
on.
50-50.
Just to repeat that, guys, we have TheViper in blue as Huns and Hera as the Chinese in red. Good picks.
Yeah, kind of expected. It's a pretty open map. And you want to go for aggressive civs who have good options and have a good eco as well, so nothing surprising here.
Alright, so looking at the maps for Hera at the moment, does have gold kind of just a little bit lower than his town center, does have a lumber towards the back and towards the south of his town center here that he can work with. Then in terms of barriers towards the front, does have this little bit of a crater effect towards the front of his base though, so going to make any push kind of retreating from there, just a little bit harder to kind of deal with. As for Viper, we do have gold over towards the north of his town center here, doesn't really push it too far forward, but still not exactly what he would be after. And then of course we do have lumber pretty much all around the TC for him, so making life pretty easy, small hill in the back with a little bit of forage there as well.
I hate these woodlands, man.
Hate them?
I hate those woodlands. Why are they in every map now, man? Arabia, even I even saw them in islands in my last island game. Like, where are they coming from, man? This is not Africa. We're not playing Africa on islands, dude. Like, they're only supposed to be on Serengeti, man. I mean, sure, the woodlines. I mean, one tree has now 150 wood, but like, still doesn't matter if you have to walk 500 miles to get to that woodline.
And of course, you can't forget about all the holes as well that you have.
That as well. That's the next annoying part. You have to watch everything 3 times.
And of course, as well, do have rhinos on this map. So Hera pulling in the rhino here. 400 food, just opposed to a ball which will be 340 normally. But like I was kind of showing off in the center there, lots and lots of hunt to work with. So as Liereyy was saying as well, a lot of risk reward in a map like this.
I don't think either player will go for the middle. They're just too far away from each other to protect it properly. They can't really full wall their map, so they have to watch out for their other resources as well. So you can't just go to the middle and have another exposed area, which you have to protect. So I'm pretty sure both will just wall up and none will go for the tiers.
Keep everything relatively close so they can keep an eye on it, reinforce the area if necessary. But at the same point, risk's just a little bit too much for the reward, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. It's just so long. It's not even worth it. Like, if you go to the berries, in any player's cases, you should probably get the same amount of food, if not more, in short term. So, just not worth the risk.
We do have both players taking a little bit of time here as well, pushing some Zebra in behind this one, so going to get a little bit of boost there. Food income, but at the same time lose out on a little bit of scouting information. But at the same time, we've only just got Hera starting to move out across the map now, and just starting to look at what's going on. So for the Viper, we've got a little bit of information working here. Moving again more of these Zebra in, and of course coming to pull the Rhino as well. Did grab a little bit of information from the center here, so like Liereyy was saying, probably a little bit too far for his take overall in terms of really what he really wants there, in terms of making it worth it. As for Hera, what do we got going on? Just starting to move out across the map now, really trying to find where he can. Looks like he's not too fond of the middle here as well. Didn't even spot a lot of hunt on it as well, so it doesn't look too kind of worth it for him, I guess is the way to put it. But moving into the Civ matchup, my man over here, my professional, my high-level player, do you think anyone has a little bit of an advantage here?
I think both Civs can easily win. They're both very good Civs. Probably both easily top 5 nowadays. Kind of tricky, because obviously Hans only want to go for cavalry. Let's say knights or cav archers. And Chinese can pretty easily counter that by just going full camos, honestly. It's like kind of Indians, just that you don't have the pierce armor. But you're most likely gonna see scouts from both here, since both lowered their tiers. It's just natural to go for scouts with Chinese as well, even though you are playing against Hans, who has better scout opening. But you still have better economy than Hans by being 2 wheels ahead, or in Hera's case only 1. Actually no, round 2, he upped faster, significantly faster than Viper.
So Viper's gone down with the barracks as well, does have some militia on field, yes, 3 militia out. Does have his scout towards Hera as well. The good news is Hera did scout it before the militia actually came out, so he does have a lot of his walls up now already as well.
Yeah, this is pretty big. If Viper doesn't do any damage with those militias, it's looking pretty good for Hera. He has a small advantage. He will have scouts out when Viper reaches field age, so looking pretty decent so far.
Hera managing to fill the 1 gap he had between his mill here as well, so things aren't too bad, but it looks like Hera just going to keep those just walls up at the moment. Viper's really not going to get too much damage out of it. Barracks gets thrown up by Hera as well, and he'll be able to start transitioning without too much loss here, plus have that advantage of hitting feudal age that bit quicker.
Yeah, it seems like militias are kind of wasted. They will probably get cleared up before they get men-at-arms, or before they find a spear from Viper. Which means Hera will have the economy and the arm advantage.
Hera nearly gets a little bit too close to the town center there, will survive though. Viper of course operating on a split lumber camp here as well. Hera doing the same thing, just dividing up where he's got his units, and quick walls again popping up fantastically there for Hera as well.
Yeah, nothing unexpected. You don't want to take unnecessary damage, which you can easily avoid. So, makes sense.
And of course, Stable has popped up for Hera now as well. We'll start moving in across the map with a couple of scouts. Viper, no walls, like none at all whatsoever, apart from we've got 1 single piece of palisade up on the gold, and it looks like he's transitioning into his archery range now as well.
Yeah, walling with Hans is kind of awkward thing, because obviously you have no houses. So it doesn't matter if you wall one side and you have the other 3 sides open. Obviously it helps, but there's also a risk your villagers just get sniped by the Hera's feudal age scout if you wall. So he chose to just not wall anything at all. I saw that one. Close.
1 villager there, saved by the town center, 6 HP remaining. And we do have a spear out in play for Viper as well, so we'll be able to push those scouts away pretty effectively.
Yeah. Too bad that he wasted that scout. It was like almost full HP as well. It was like 36 or something. And he could have easily... he should probably clear up those militias before they get supported by a spear as well. And he overchops somewhere.
Double archer range coming up from Viper behind this as well. Is looking for a little bit of damage here, but again, the walls from Hera, just extremely effective right now.
Yeah. Delicious. Keep being useless. Hitting a wall. Nothing happening.
And it looks like we will see a raid on the gold here from Hera. Should get a villager here as well.
Deep halving. Strikes again.
Gets one and is out of there before the
yeah.
spears get too close as well. Could even look for another villager here as well in the wood line, and looks like he might actually get it. Is that villager low HP?
Yeah, of course it's low HP.
Good snipe. Very, very
Yes.
good snipe. Keeping track of that one from earlier. And again, on top of one of the wood lines here. Again.
Yeah. 4 villages ahead. He's looking pretty good. He has better army right now. Viper does have... How many archers? Only 2 so far. Skirm and an archer.
There's another villager for Hera as well. Really starting to kind of chip away
this
at
is
the
not
moment.
worth. This is...
Feeling good?
This... I mean... Going for this Vil is fine if you don't lose like 1 or more scouts. Because you already had an economy... I mean, you already had a villager count. You should probably... Like, Hera knows that. He's 2 Vils ahead from the start. And now he killed 2 Vils as well. And he didn't take any damage from the militias. So he knows he should be around like... Should be up 4 Vils. And the only way you'll really lose the lead of this game right now, if you take damage yourself. And how do you take damage yourself? Well, if you don't have enough army to defend.
So he's just overcommitting a little bit too hard for what he's kind of doing here.
Yeah, you're already ahead. You don't need to force anything to major. Like, letting those 2 scouts die for 1 villager is just not worth.
So Viper finally moving out across the map with his army here as well. A couple of skirmishes. He's got some villagers. He's got some skirmishes. He's got some archers in here as well. Does have some spearmen behind this, and it looks like Hera should scout this one. However, gonna kill a little bit of free hits there, but not commit overly hard at the moment.
Hera needs fletching and +1 armor to defend this. Otherwise, he will be forced to make a tower, and that's pretty awkward as well.
Alright, it looks like Hera's getting ready for the engagement here. Really trying not to take it too early, and I guess the big thing is here the positioning, the way he actually chooses to engage. Needs to make sure to deal with those spearmen before he can really kind of
this is what I was talking about. Now you have not enough army to defend, and well, you can see what's happening now. You will lose the army advantage and lose... Well, only 1 will so far, but it's obviously a lot of idle time. You have to move your villagers from wood, from gold, and... I don't know, he could have probably taken the... well, 2 more scouts, it's hard to say. He needed the archer range earlier. He only had 3 skirmishes when Viper came, which was not enough.
Again, just a couple of idle villagers sitting around here. Viper trying to take some damage wherever he can. Good news is, though, the skirmishers are on their own, so those scouts are managing to get in, do a little bit of damage here. The spear's going to push it away pretty quickly, but at the same time, skirmishers are dealing with that one. Hera taking a good position here, just trying to deal with this, but at the same time, Viper's just everywhere right now.
Yeah, this is like... Sure, Hera is ahead 3 villagers, but they're like 5 idle right now. And... gonna lose another one. Imagine he had 2 more scouts now. Could easily take the fight. Could easily kill the 2 spears off, the 4 skirmishes, but now it's just like... Yeah, you have 2 or 3 scouts, might as well just waste them, you know? They're not really worth anything. But if you had like 5 scouts there, or 6, like... Imagine the difference.
Even pulled the villagers on top of this one as well to try and deal with the skirmishes. Yeah, like you're saying, it's just a little bit of overcommitment before. It's just left him a little bit low in terms of the resources he needed to deal with this properly.
This is the kind of stuff which, in quotes, not so much experienced players do. Like this strategy would work 100% in every ranked game, because the enemy is not gonna punish you for that. The enemy won't just move out minute, what was it, 15 with 10 army and like 3 spears with fletching, you know? Like, they're just gonna need more time. They won't make this build so good. And this is why you don't get punished by it. And this is why you do these little mistakes which add up.
So we've had Viper push in again, try and find some damage that he could. Couldn't really kind of find too much there, so we have seen Hera clean that up. Can actually push out across the map now. Just having a look at the point of view right now, seeing exactly what's going on for them.
And now Viper's transitioning to scouts. This will catch Hera off guard probably, as he is not doing any archers, spears, or scouts. So it's... And this, like... Now he's like, feels like he needs to do damage again, because he got idled so much. And the only reason why he feels to be pressured right now is because he lost so much. And the only reason why he lost so much, or got idled so much is because he overcommitted to those two school scouts. Now he loses the 5 skirmishers, no, 6 skirmishers.
Viper's so not worried about this, he hasn't even bothered to garrison the TC behind it. He's just got the scouts doing what they can, just garrisoning the villages as need be.
Getting rid of the wood line now. It's pretty ugly as well. And yeah, this is all just snowballs, honestly. This is all just snowball things.
Viper managing to clean up all of those skirmishes that were under the TC, and now he's back out on the offensive quite literally straight away again. Just trying to find somewhere to do a little bit more damage. But again, he's taken map control so easily here and really just boxed Hera in.
Yeah. And now he has the army advantage, and soon he will also have the economy advantage if he doesn't have it already. And yeah.
So what's the play? What's the way out? Can you see anything from Hera here? Or is Viper just going to continue to constrict and make this harder and harder until eventually it's game?
You kind of have to hope for an overcommitment. That you kill Viper's whole army, but I don't see that happening, so it's kind of tough. And obviously you have to go full army, because in this map, like, look how open it is. Hera is up to Castle Age, but now I realize it, but I don't know, like, I feel like till he's Castle Age, he will take too much damage.
Are we running into the same problem that we had in the first game of the series, where he just committed to moving to the next stage a little bit harder, and because that didn't have the units again to take the fight?
He has to make a tower on his gold. There's no way around it. Well, maybe not. The Viper doesn't move in.
Again, gonna try and get some kills here over on the gold. Just deny that as much as possible. But, dude, did you see the sign?
Yeah, of course
10K viewers, guys. We've hit the digits. This is what we were looking for at day 1 as well. Thank you to everyone watching. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to Nili.
Easy
Congratulations
10K.
to the Age of Empires scene in general.
Easy 10K.
10K.
10K. Going for more.
Only the start.
But as we, like, this game, man. Not liking where this is going, man.
So we've got Hera just hitting Castle Age now.
But he's got taken off gold.
But that's it. What can he do with it?
Yeah, no, he has no gold. Like, that's what I mean. He has a market, sure, but this is also inefficient. But he needed a tower at least if he is Castle Age. Like, he's playing way too greedy. He's going for too many economy snipes, too many army. He just needs to focus more on army, honestly. Less on economy.
It's just making things hard for him because he's always had that kind of technology lead. He just hasn't had the units to really back it up. Now Viper's nearly 80% of the way towards Castle. He's in such a comfortable position to just keep pushing this out. Villager advantage as well, even towards Viper, 39 to 36. Military advantage in his way as well. Even looking at the K to D, we've got 41 kills, 35 deaths.
Yeah, Viper's economy is just way more smoother. He has like a huge army lead as well. Well, not a huge one, but like he has 10 crossbow. Way better economy, will be able to pump out knights from 2 stables constantly. And yeah, upgrade his few archers to expo, which will be annoying as well to deal with. Because Hera won't be able to afford any defense upgrades. His eco is a complete mess.
We do have Hera moving out across the map though. He is looking for some way to kind of do some damage here, moving out with a knight, a scout, just trying to find any pick that he really can. But
there are 3 spears there, not really gonna happen.
That's it, there's just not enough to really continue in through the game here and really just push in. Like you were saying, he's just kind of overcommitted in the wrong spots, and because that doesn't have the resources to kind of take these little wins when he can. Did catch Viper's villager over towards the east side of his base as well though. And extra town center starting to come up from Hera, and we're seeing a third. No third town center as of yet.
30 TC by Viper. This is pretty surprising, actually.
Well, do you think he's just put himself in a position he's happy enough with at the moment, where he can sit, he can boom, he can not feel too stressed about it, and can make that commitment without needing to worry?
Yeah, I guess, but I think he could have finished this game right now in Castle Age. If he just went full army at 1 TC. But I guess going for the eco approach is maybe a bit safer. It's just... You have the option basically, you can just relax and boom your 3 TC and sneak around. Like, Hera won't be able to punish you because look at his economy. He has 8 working farms, 500 miles away from his TC. He doesn't have knights to catch your expo, you can just always run away. So yeah, he can't really punish this, so this is just fine.
Viper's just doing his best to keep Hera in his box here. just patrolling around with his crossbows, managing to just hold him in as much as possible, taking the fights where he can kind of get a good trade on his units, and then just moving from there. And he's already got those 3 town centers up behind this as well, like we were talking about earlier. Hera just starting to put his 3rd one up on the gold here at the front, so just starting to pull himself in a little bit more in terms of the economy. But Viper, Knights, we've got Cavalry Archers behind this as well. This is where the transition's really going to come into effect.
He's losing his expo. Quite sloppy by Viper, honestly. Was pretty unnecessary on that hill. Pretty inefficient, but his crossbows don't really matter that much anymore. He is pumping out CA, that will be his main unit. So much more mobile, so much faster. Also strong if you get the upgrades for them, so makes sense.
That's it, and he's going to be able to use the positioning so much better along that as well, because Hera's base still does remain pretty much completely open. So if he can dart around with those cavalry archers, like, he's just creating so many idols everywhere he can, and just really trying to push that advantage he knows he has at the moment.
Yeah, and the way you beat Hans in those open maps is just by, like, Hans will always have the mobility advantage. So the way you beat them is by just either full walling and just going full expo, as Hera wants to try to do, or just try to catch up with their mobility by going camels, because camels do good against knights and Cav archers, so basically all what Hans have. But he can't really afford camels right now, because he's on free TCs, no farms. So yeah, this is looking pretty tough, I would say, for Hera. Even though it's even pop, I would favor Viper's position 100 times.
A great raid from Hera coming in though, getting 4 villagers there. We'll clean up the rest of the pikes as well, but he's looking for that 5th villager kill as well. Potentially could get on top of it here. And looks like she will just get away, but we'll clean up the rest of those pikes as well. Viper ready with a counter-attack down towards the east though, but the garrison of the town center there from Hera going to prevent anything from really happening too badly. But that's a lot of knights at the moment starting to look like from the Viper. He's building up his numbers. He's got the stronger tech right now. We'll be able to just jump straight on top of this, and there's nothing Hera will really be able to do to pull himself out of this one now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure if I agree with Viper's decision to go free TC here, honestly. He had all the control, he had all the map control. I mean, he's probably still in a better position because of his army lead and his, well, both have the same economy it seems now, even villagers. But if he went for more army, more upgrades earlier, Hera could have never gotten that raid, for example. He would have been stuck in his base forever.
It's very traditional Viper, though, I would say, in terms of the play style. Get the advantage, then decide you don't want to overcommit, build the extra town centers up behind it, and then just start hammering those nails in slowly but surely.
But this way, Hera can come back by raids like this. Like, he killed like, what, 4 or 5 villages there? Idle quite a lot. With only like 7 expos, so this is pretty worth it.
Looks like we are about to see a pretty big split attack from Viper though. We do have an army coming in from the east, one coming in from the west as well. We'll hopefully just be able to get some kind of pincer on here and hopefully just distract him enough. But there's a lot of crossbows out for Hera again. Like you were saying, Viper's dividing his army here. He didn't kind of commit in when he had the huge advantage. This is just giving Hera more and more chances just to snowball up and keep this, basically just stay in the game.
Yeah. Does Hera have ballistics? Nope. Maybe it does. He does it at the university.
Definitely a university up in the field, so it's totally possible.
Well, he needs to shoot some arrows. Actually,
we'll go to Liereyy in the forensics desk in a second.
Nah, he doesn't have ballistics yet. Or does he? He does!
Yeah, the way he's shooting after that cavalry archer.
Was... Yep. Now he does. He's going camel now, Hera. Or was it? No. He just made 1 camel.
He's definitely starting to queue a couple up, so you're definitely on the right track. We do have an extra stable up here as well, so starting to commit into that a little bit
you're in Hera's point of view, I'm in Viper's point of view. Oh, that's why I can't see anything what he's doing. Makes sense now. I was like, what? Why can't I see anything? It's not cleaning up anything. But I like the Hera. I like the camel approach. Makes a lot of sense. Wanna catch up to the mobility of Hans. Wanna be able to catch the raids. And obviously, camels are faster than knights and Cav archers, so they're very good in
Hera
punishing.
Moving in for another raid though with a lot more crossbows this time. We've got 22 on field.
Not like this. I don't like this at all. Like, sure, you might kill those 3 villagers, maybe a few more back there, but he will lose all his army for that. Viper will just go back, get +2 armor upgrade, and Hera will lose all his army.
Alright, there's the 3 kills.
Hera realizes it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this is...
He's converging on the location.
Oh no.
He knows he's over here.
Oh boy.
And here it comes.
Yeah, maybe he has enough to stand the ground with the camel, maybe. Maybe, actually. Now with the heal.
Gonna see a little bit of a dance here from both players as they try and get the positioning advantage, making sure they're gonna take the right fight here. And here we go, Camel's on top of the hill, managing to start get some kills, but the crossbows just aren't there yet.
Why is Hera moving up to the hill? Okay, he's going back. Viper wants to wait till fumbling. Will be a major difference.
Hera just trying to get a couple of easy kills here, using that advantage he gets on the range from the crossbows. But Viper just starting to get so many numbers out on the field and such high value units as well. 42 compared to 33.
Yeah. This is
Good
the
news
dream
is
of
Hera's
Hans.
army.
Cav archers and knights. And he does have the better army. Like, he does have the strong army. Hera only has +1 on his camels. That's pretty huge. They will get wrecked by the Cav archer fire.
Alright, crossbows just trying to get some picks here as easy as possible. And Camel's coming up from behind the knights as well. Gets good positioning with the crossbows behind this.
I can't see anything, man. They're all still stacked up. Oh, I can zoom in.
And the knights just begin to melt behind the camels and the crossbows there. But Viper's just got so many cavalry archers behind this as well.
This is not that bad for Hera, honestly. Like, not sure why Viper took this fight. Yeah, crossbows on the hill constantly there. And Camel's also hitting the knights. He has more crossbows from here.
I'm just watching the number counts just go down, 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 and Hera coming in with some more reinforcements with the crossbows from the other side. Brings in a couple more camels just to balance this out as well.
Oh
Villager
boy.
count extremely close. Hera moving forward with some villagers here as well.
Oh no. Oh, this is not good.
I think this is a no-go.
I don't think... Oh, this is so close.
He tries to get the castle
man.
up, but
Look at this massacre.
Viper's just got cavalry archers on top of where he wants that castle position.
Yeah,
Oh no.
the massacre.
This hurts. I'm just watching all these idle villagers just waiting for there to be a chance to build this castle.
But this looks fine, honestly, for here. Like, Camels clean those up. In small numbers,
There we go.
Camels
Stop
win
building.
easily. Build!
Stop building! Viper goes up with the counter castle as well.
This is madness, actually.
Military units are heavily in favor of Hera right now. 18 compared to 4.
Shit.
Nearly the advantage in terms of villages as well.
Yeah, this was good for Hera, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
positioned his crossbows very well on the hill. And, well, crossbows were fumbling with Camels in front.
Castle does
the way
come
to
up a
go.
little bit quicker from Viper though. Still needs to get there, but the military advantage right now
Okay,
still
can
in
he
place
deny the
for Hera.
castle? I'm not sure if it's in range. 10, 1,
The villagers
2,
have been
3, 4,
pulled.
5.
They've been
Oh, he can
pulled.
snipe them.
I think it's denied.
Oh no. Not a DauT castle. This was unnecessary. He's gonna lose everything. Oh my lord.
Viper's still extremely low in terms of military
yeah.
count here, but that castle just working to very, very well to solidify his position here.
This is very unfortunate. I mean, it's still not the end of the world. I mean, sure, it's sucks that the castle didn't go up, but Eco's still untouched in the meanwhile. Hera's on 40 C. Well, Vipers as well.
Both over 100 villages at this point as well.
Yeah.
Hera looking for a secondary castle to come down on top of this hill over here so we can get another staging point to work with, because this castle pretty much down for the count at this stage. We can see a watchtower coming up from Viper as well, just wanting to make sure that doesn't happen. However, Viper has scouted what's going on these hills in the back here. Counter raid coming in across the east as well for Viper. Looks like he is trying to do some damage with cavalry archers, but they do get pulled back when he sees what's going on back at home.
I mean, Viper lost all his army, and his army is way better in groups, in bigger groups than Hera's army. So, as long as both units trade the units, it benefits Hera, because camels beat knights and cav archers. So you don't want to fight 30 against 30, where you can just hit and run forever.
Which is totally within their means.
Yeah.
Totally at this level.
Yeah.
Castle comes up on the hill, so we do have a staging point for Hera to be working
Oh,
with
next
now.
castle. How much stone did Hera collect? What the hell?
And Hera pushing away this raid that was coming in from Viper as well. Can't really get any damage from it. Big thing though is Viper's starting to again expand across the map like we saw last game. Starting to pick up all those little extra golds and things that he can. But this is a big push coming in from Hera here with all the camels.
Yeah, but this doesn't do anything, honestly. Like, sure, it's a good position for a castle, but he needs to watch out that he doesn't get raided, because he himself can't raid with camels only. The Camels get wrecked by TC fire. They have no pierce armor, and also don't do any damage to villagers.
We do have both players on their way up to Imperial as well. Viper a little bit quicker by the looks of things, but again, still just trying to suss out the map, get all that extra resource that he can in, really solidify his position. Looks like we've got a lot more archery ranges coming up here as well. And again, Hera just looking for someone to raid, someone to do a little bit of damage.
So this can go in both ways. Obviously, you will see traps coming out from both players, and Hera will have the heal advantage with the trap, and Viper will have the Hans bonus, where the traps get 30% more accuracy, which I learned last game. Only 30, for whatever reason. Viper scouted at gold actually, with the villagers. That's pretty huge as well.
It looks like we're basically just waiting for Imperial Age for both players at this stage. Both of them stacking up their armies, starting to get their composition they really want behind this. Viper starting to move into a little bit of trash as well, just starting to try and make sure he gets exactly what he can out on the field. Go for some kind of push behind this and just, I guess, let the raiding begin.
Yeah. I like the second castle from Viper. Protects a huge area of his economy. His gold, his wood, his stone, his farms. Can make more farms at the back there. Really good castle.
Which is the point we're getting into with Hera as well. He just has nothing back home to really kind of help the defense. Yeah. He's got a couple of units, but his units, in terms of the economy right now, it's just so spread out, and it's got nothing there to stop the raiding that's about to happen.
Yeah. Like he built both of his castle forwards. He hasn't. Now he's taking his other stone, but he barely touched it, so he has no. Like, there are Cav archers at the bottom. This is pretty painful. Cav archers at top. You need outposts for that. There's another. Actually, he's doing outposts. Does he have town watch? Oh no, I can't see actually.
So we've got Hera again, just looking for more resources across the map, and Viper's already tracking all of those. The stone at the moment going to get taken out relatively quickly. Look at these light cavalry, just going to clean up these skirmishes pretty quickly. But here's the raiding we were talking about.
He's clearing up the top raid, but yeah, Trade War favors Viper, I believe. He has 2 castles. 30% more accuracy on his traps. Second castle from Hera.
Second castle coming up on the hill right next door.
Yeah.
So he will even the numbers up, but again, Viper's just built so defensively right now, and he has already got the raiding started.
Yeah. This favors Viper, because Hera is completely unprotected. No castles, no nothing. He can get raided everywhere, and that's just what Hans do the best. Just raid.
Hera getting super aggressive as well, starting to throw up a whole bunch of military units just behind his castles. Wants to make sure his reinforce time is as quick as possible. And look at those camels starting to push the cavalry archers back across the map now as well.
Yeah. But hops are coming, so...
there will be an answer.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm looking at that second castle right now from Hera, and that just might not go up.
Oh, this is pretty painful. He can't really trap war against Hans. The forward castle wasn't the right approach.
So
it looked good, but...
Oh, there we go. So second castle's gone. He'll be able to start moving on to that original one, and then be able to get putting down the shackles of what's left of this castle over here as well. And just small amounts of raiding, I guess, is the next step from here.
Yeah. Hera will try to raid as well, but like I said, like Viper has 1 castle at the back which defends a lot of areas. And then he has army on the other side. While Hera's wood economy, for example, is completely unprotected. And his farms at the back as well. I guess he has a TC there, but Viper can just run past that. So
Viper doing a great job of just holding this front as well, losing minimal units,
Another
really using his rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. This castle is really good, protecting all 3 STCs, whole farm economy. You can always fall back to this castle, especially this trap war.
Does lose one, but at the end of the day right now he's putting himself still in quite a good position. We do have the light cavalry running in, sniping a couple of trebuchets where they can, however, so starting to make a little bit of a difference here.
Yeah, I mean, Hera just needs arbalists, skirms and camels, but he doesn't have the gold for that, it seems. And he already lost all his camels to halves, so that's really bad.
We are also seeing a transition, a couple of Tarkans on the field at the moment for Viper as well. Going to be able to start getting them in their raiding. Huge amount of pierce armor so far, 3+4, not even elite at this stage.
Tarkans would be deadly for Hera. He has no answer to this. He lost all his camels, he's doing skirms and Lycas. And Tarkans are a hell of a unit, they're fully upgraded.
And we've just got Hellbraid right now. Viper's just starting to stream those units in slowly but surely. Did actually put a castle up towards the north of the map as well to protect that gold. And the Treb war just carrying on, and it looks like that's it for Hera's Trebs at the moment. No castles left, no Trebs on the field. That makes things difficult.
Yeah. He did go heavy camels, which I like. Means he will add more camels as time goes on. But he just needs Arbalest. He doesn't like skirmishes is like nice and stuff, but they don't really clear halbs. Like if you engage with camels and skirmishers against wait, what? What is happening? End of game data. I don't like that too much.
We hope.
There's no way this can be GG, no? There's no way. Hera was popped. Viper was almost popped. Wait, what?
Alright, we're getting the details now, ladies and
Alright.
gents. We're getting the details.
Yes.
For now, we'll just jump into the stats, have a look at what we've got here.
Oh, yeah.
And looks like we are getting the result in.
They're still in the game.
They are still in game.
Can you find the game?
I'm trying
We can
right now.
absolutely try to. Dun 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 dun.
What?
Between games.
Sure.
I guess I'm getting in again, but the start.
Okay, then you just talk a bit what happened and when you're like 45 minutes or tell them to continue. Okay?
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, team, we just had a small little glitch, crash,
Yeah,
whatever you want to
happens
call it there.
to the best.
We are just catching up in terms of the game overall now as well.
About the game.
So one of the biggest things that we did have here, of course, in terms of the gameplay, Hera did get a little bit overcommitment in terms of the early stages of the game, made things a little bit hard for him to kind of keep up in terms of the actual early castle age. Then from there, moved forward with the castle, made it a little bit difficult again just to be able to hold on to that one, actually had the first castle denied.
Yeah.
What would you change in terms of way, because we're kind of reflecting over this, what do you think would have made the biggest differences if you thought about it a little bit more?
In Hera's case?
In Hera's case, yes.
Well, not committing to that castle, I think. I mean, the castle itself was fine, but he also took a decent fight, a really good fight, which I thought he would lose way harder than he did. The fight was actually even, but the thing is, against Hans, like their strongest ability is just to get raided. Like their raiding potential is huge. You can just make buildings everywhere, faster working stables. Like you won't win a game against Hans if you're Chinese when both players just raid themselves. So you kind of want castles to be defensive rather than aggressive. And you will only place a castle if you're 100% sure you're going to win the fight. You have the map control. That's when you want to make a castle against Hans forward. Because in this case, Hera has no defensive castle at home now. Viper will just raid him everywhere with some Cav archers here, some light Cav there, and while Viper is fully protected with 2 castles at home, protecting whole his farm economy, his wood lines. And that's the big difference right now, honestly.
So you're thinking the way that kind of Viper's laid out his base a little bit more? Do you think he was looking at the long run a little bit more than Hera was overall, or?
I think Hera just wanted to go for the kill because he knew he had better army, like camels and crossbows just beat knights and camel.
Mm-hmm.
But Viper did have a bit better economy, and also he had more army than Hera. So the castle was like, yes, the castle could have gone up and then it would have been maybe another game, but this just gave Viper the opportunity to make a defensive castle, a really good one by the way as well, protecting all his farms, all his gold, all his wood lines again, while Hera's castle wouldn't accomplish anything. It would just like delay 5 farms basically, and 2 ranges. And it didn't go up, so that was the pretty bad thing about it, the worst part.
And then looking back at what Viper's play was as well, you still believe that if he kind of pushed that little bit harder instead of committing into the economy and Castle Age, that pretty much would have been game ending at that stage? Or do you think the idea that he's kind of played it a little bit more for the long runs kind of worked out?
I honestly think the approach of going all in Castle Age for like the first 5 minutes would have been better in my opinion. Like he had way better economy, Hera's economy was a complete mess. He was pushed off gold, he didn't make a tower, defensive tower.
Yep.
He had a second TC, so he either had to choose between idling both of his TCs and defending Viper's push, or just make Vils and die in front, basically. So I think the 1 TC approach would have been better, in my opinion.
Yep.
But either way, I think for TC is just I guess what's for him safer. It's just natural for him to go late game, since obviously he's used to play late games and knows how to play them. So I guess it's just his playstyle.
So we're just waiting on the game to catch up at this stage, guys. But at the moment, so you believe Viper's in a much stronger position due to layout, a little bit better decision making as well.
I think he's in a better position. He has 2 defensive castles at the back, so Hera can't really raid. Hera is completely open. Also, Viper has control of 1 gold with the castle in the north.
Yep.
Hera has a gold at the bottom, but he isn't taking it. Maybe he doesn't see it with the outpost. Maybe he doesn't have town watch. But yeah, the raiding potential for Viper is just so much bigger. That's why I favor Viper's position right now. And obviously, Hera can't really raid Viper because he has 2 defensive castles. So
it's basically at this point, do you think it's just waiting for Viper to kind of seal the deal?
I think so. This is gonna play out. In my opinion, this is gonna play out for another 20-30 minutes, maybe. Depends how well Hera holds, and then it's just gonna be slowly and slightly leading.
Drive all the resources he's got left,
Yeah,
and the fact that he can't hold on to them as well does make things a little bit of an issue.
Yeah. He will also run out of gold to make camels. The camels are completely necessary to defend against the raids at this point, because how do you stop Kev archers and how do you stop Tarkans? And that's the next thing. Like those are like tanks, move, right? Man. They have 170 HP with 8 pierce armor. Like skirms aren't stopping that. Light Kevs aren't stopping that. So you need camels. Maybe even some halps would be a nice addition as well. So I feel like this is going to Viper's favor.
Big advantage for the Viper currently.
Not a big one, but like a slight one, which will lead into a big one, which will snowball.
Gotcha. So it's basically just about snowballing his play as best as possible, and then just taking that military advantage and just slowly bleeding away at Hera.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. So we should just be a couple more seconds, guys, and we should be pretty much ready to go.
Are they pausing? Are they paused?
Yes, they are. So we're just waiting on a quick cleanup here, and we'll be pretty much back in the game ready to go, guys. So hold on tight for 1 second.
Players' face. What minute did they drop, do you know? 50-something, I believe, right? Ah, yeah.
All right.
I see.
We have caught up. We are about to get the go-ahead, guys.
We're back, boys.
So we'll be back in the game. This wasn't over yet. We've talked a little bit how the position that Hera's got himself into. So it's just a position of seeing right now, can he actually find his way out of it, is going to be the real question here. He really needs to kind of start poking, prodding against Viper, finding all those little holes in his economy, all those little holes in his defenses that he can really start using to pull himself back into the game.
Yeah. And as we can see in the north, near Viper's monastery, he's putting up another castle, defending a lot of his farms and his economy. So this is, again, a very nice castle to protect his eco from raids. And yeah, this is what I think will carry him through this late game. Just the castle placements.
We do have a big force over towards the front for Hera, though, at the moment. Still quite high in terms of the military count, 50 compared to 33. Both players pretty much equal at the moment in terms of villages. In fact, exactly equal, 145 to 145. So it's just a matter of seeing if Hera can really kind of push. He's using a lot of rams at the moment as well, so we'll be able to push forward with those. Do you just want to go to POV? Alright guys, we're going to POV just in case we had any issues there that we couldn't solve. And let's have a look at what's going on here. We do have Hera trying to push out across the map, like we were saying. Does have a lot of rams that he can start using to try and push in, start taking down those defenses of the Viper that we were worried about. It's starting to make a real difference. But again, look at the unit at the moment from Viper. He's got so many helps out in play, and the raiding behind that as well to boot.
Yeah. This Viper knows how he wins this game. Like, he knows his eco is very well protected, and Hera's isn't. So Hera's only chance of winning this game is if he makes one big push, kills his castle, so that he's unprotected. But Viper knows that, so he's preparing units to defend against Hera's big push already, and will just raid him in the meanwhile.
Viper really looking at the late game here as well, has started collecting all the relics behind it, so he knows what's going on. He's got his raiding stables up towards the north of the map as well, so we'll just start be able to essentially just queuing in light cav, sending that in across the map, and just basically watching what happens.
Yeah. And since Hera doesn't even have one castle left, I believe, he's stuck with rams. I mean, rams are good, but it kind of forces you to make one big go, because Hans will always be able to pump out units really quick, so you can't just send 3 rams and a few halps or a few light calves to kill one castle.
Exactly right. It's not as easy with the Trebuchet where you can kind of just camp a heal,
Exactly, yeah.
slowly advance, be able to push in against the army and really draw it to you. You need to be in there, in the thick of it, and it just makes it such an issue when you're up against so many units with so many production buildings that Viper's got on the field right now.
Yeah, and as you can see, Viper's just moving back his economy. Because he knows he's fully protected, and now we see Hera's point of view. He's getting raided everywhere. He doesn't really know what to do with his army. Like, you can clearly see, like, they're just skirms camping on a hill in the middle of the game. And this is like, sometimes you get in those positions where you can't really do much against it. Like, what should those skirmishes accomplish, you know? You don't know from which side the Cav archers are gonna come. You don't know from which side Viper's gonna raid next. You can't really just go and run at him because he has light Cavs and Hussars.
The mobility of the Huns really starting to show here in terms of their light cav. They've got the Hussar to work with. They've got the cavalry archers that we've seen in effect so many times here as well. Then backing that up with the Halbs, so we really have nothing that Hera can push into this. It makes it really hard.
What we do see now, though, is that Hera is almost more than 2k gold. So he could go, like... How does he spend his gold best? I think he honestly would spend his gold best way if he just goes full camo.
Full camel and then back it up with some rams as well?
Exactly.
Or do you think at the moment just full caval is
he needs rams as well. Like, he can't really go full camos because then Viper just falls back to one of his castles and fights there, and you can't dive castles with camos. This is not a good idea. Like, you will lose everything. They die so quick.
So can Hera push this back is a real question right now. He's being raided from absolutely everywhere, but like you were saying, he did have a heap of gold in the bank to work with. Viper, though, looking very, very poor at this stage.
Yeah,
so I guess it's just a matter of holding the onslaught, then moving in with those gold-heavy units, and really just trying to make some kind of difference happen here and really make a miracle happen.
Yeah. This is exactly what's happening. Like, Viper's all the map control of the castles. Hera doesn't have a single castle, so he can't really push. But he's just reacting rather than forcing the issue.
So in terms of gameplay, because you've played a lot of these players as well, in terms of their late game, who do you believe actually has the kind of late game advantage when it comes down to just strength, kind of ignoring the positioning?
I think Hera is a very well late game player as well, but the position he put himself into by going forward with those two castles against Hans, it's just impossible to play against Viper, honestly. Like, yes, now he has one castle up in the center, but it doesn't really make a difference. You can see now that Viper's just in Hera's economy, the farms, and I think this will be over pretty soon. I think gameplay-wise, like strength-wise, both players are similar, but Viper just makes one or the other better decision, or Hera makes one wrong decision, and Viper just knows how to punish that. So.
We've got Viper just again expanding his economy at the best, doing the best he can behind it to just make sure he's putting these nails in the coffin. Hera again just trying to push in desperately. He's finding what opportunities he can, he's doing the raiding, but the numbers of the Viper right now are just too high for him to really be able to push out against. Rams starting to make their way into his base, he's going to have to deal with them under the castles, and it looks like again Hera just looking for any raiding opportunity he can find here.
Yeah. And you can't really raid Viper either, because he has like 5 castles spread around. Like, sure, you might find 1 or 2 spots which are not protected by castles, but that's where Viper's army is gonna be. Like now, for example, he has a castle there. This is the only unprotected spot, probably. But he can still make a TC there.
And this is a big ram train coming in from Viper here as well that Hera's going to need to find an answer to. The more I start looking at the map, the less units I'm starting to see in play from Hera, the more raiding I'm starting to see from Viper. The whole map is beginning to get speckled blue all around Hera's base, which just means it's an issue. Now we have that big force from the Viper in the center. We need to get Hera to have all his units together, so dealing with that and the raiding might just be a little bit too much now.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Hera right now. He can't really stop the raiding and focus on the center, both.
Hera doing his best to kind of hold on to this one. He sees the Rams coming, he pulls the villagers to be able to deal with this one.
He needs to spend his gold. Like, light caps and skirms won't cut it against
You're
SARS light
absolutely right.
caps.
He's got 2k gold in the bank. He's just not spending right now. Viper's already down to trash. What could he be waiting for at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, camos would definitely help, but I don't think they would change the situation. Like, you would still not be able to push anywhere. You would just defend better and longer, probably. So this would just stall the game, but obviously, camos would be better for defending this than Lightcast, for example.
And like you were saying before as well, we've got those cavalry archers there from the Viper as well. He can just hit and run with those against the camels, move back to the castles, which he's got to use as a defensive shield, and then again, just go again, essentially.
Yeah. This is just... I have played a lot of those games, so I know how Hera feels now that I think. Pretty frustrating if you're playing against 5 castles with no castles, against Hans especially.
And there we go, the
he calls
resign
it.
from Hera on screen after such a long game as well. Always sad to see, but at the same time here, played a very, very good game. Viper was just able to grip every situation he had there very, very well.
Yeah.
Alright, let's check out the achievements.
At least something we can check.
These are the statistics from mid-game. Hope everyone enjoys seeing those.
Oh, these ones are fine actually. 1 hour 5.
Oh,
yeah.
excellent.
Because the graph and that was it. Nice graph.
Alright, so we will be moving into a game number 3 now as well.
Which will be... Land Madness.
Will be, yes, Hera's second pick.
Wait, what? Password leak? What? 1, 2, 3? Everyone is typing 1, 2, 3 leaked. What? What is
1, 2,
happening?
3.
Was there a password somewhere?
I have a feeling they were putting a password on the game.
The disadvantages of putting point of view, boys.
Point of view is great until you're putting in sensitive
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Let's get one of them to log into their PayPal.
What? Like, who put the... Did they play with password? They don't even need to play with password. Like, you could
I
just
think
close
it's
the
for
other
spec
6
reasons
spots.
for the tournament. Yeah, next password 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 to
Yeah.
1, 3 to 1.
There you go, 3, 2, 1. That's the same code on my luggage. Man, now that's an old reference.
Everyone is gonna try 1, 2, 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that.
Alright guys, so as Liereyy did say before, we'll be going into a game number 3 here, which will be LAN Madness, Hera's pick. Oh man, I'm having the best time right now.
I'm feeling you.
Alright, so LAN Madness. Talk to me. It's big brain time.
It's a pretty similar map to then Valley, which we just saw.
Yep.
It's
I
pretty
remember
open.
last year here we did see basically just Frank Mirror, Frank Mirror.
I'm not sure.
Well, not Frank Mirror, but Franks were just always
I
the
know
winner.
that berries got nerfed, like instead of 4 tile bushes, they have like 2 now.
Yes.
So that definitely plays a big role, but I'm not sure if Franks are still gonna be the best Civ there. Like I know Viper still has Chinese to play with, that's pretty strong. And what does Hera have left? He still has the Meso Civs,
Yes, absolutely.
but I'm not sure if he wants to go for those in such an open map. We'll see, I guess. But I think Viper's gonna play... He might try Franks, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Alright, we are
If I
going
find the
into
game of this.
game number 3. In the blue, we do have TheViper playing as the Mongols. Then down in the south of the map, in the red, of course, we do have Hera playing as the... We've got Mayans, by the looks of the little symbol I've got there.
Interesting.
I never thought I needed glasses until I started playing DE and I saw the little symbols. That's when I decided I've needed glasses.
Yeah, D, man. It's bad.
Alright, so LAN Madness, as we know, absolute madness when it comes to the
Yeah.
actual map and the layout
Yeah.
overall. Makes things very, very difficult. Of course, there's these little ice patches around all the major resources, which, look, it means you can't wall over them. It means raiding's extremely common and it's really hard to deal with. So, in terms of civs, do you have a preference here out of who's sake, or do you think it's both a strong option to work with? Because really, each player's only essentially had 2 civs eliminated.
Well, objective-wise, I would prefer Mongols, because this map is super open. And obviously, if one civ can't go cavalry and use their mobility to raid in a super open map, the other civ who can use their mobility to raid is just favored. But obviously, Mayans are a natural counter to Mongols, since you can just make 80 plumes and win the game. There's nothing Mongols can do, really, against that. So, it honestly depends how Hera plays this. If Hera plays defensively, booms up with some defensive towers, maybe like castles here and there, and doesn't take too much damage from Viper's aggression, I think he will win it.
So you think this is really about Hera just trying to stall it out, building up those numbers, and then pushing out once he has that and just overwhelming Viper in basically one foul swoop?
If, like, from a Mayan's perspective, there is a time window where you get to imp with like 20-30 plumes, which you made in Castle Age, or even more maybe sometimes, where the Mongol player cannot do anything against it. Like, he can't do Cavaliers, he can't do Lightcast because obviously they don't have +3 armor, and you can't really do skirms either because you won't be in imp by that time, most games. So there's a time window that Mayans can have, which should just be able to Shrek Mongols. But if he goes a super late game, obviously Mongols have the advantage again because they just have Hussars that have 120 HP. So and skirms.
So it's really just about trying to find when that spike's going to work in your advantage.
Exactly.
And just hammering it home at that moment.
Yeah.
So we've got second boar getting lured in here by TheViper, looking down over towards Hera. What have we got in terms of layout? Second boar about to get... No, not yet apparently. We're going to go over here first. But basically we do have the lumber camp coming up towards the south of the base for both players, so both in a more defensive location. Berry Bush is coming up here from Hera as well. Viper, I don't think we've seen him go to berries yet, however. Has pulled in that second boar a little bit earlier, and there's the berries just starting up now as well, and trying to really make use of that hunt he's got on the front, right next to his mill.
This is really nice for Viper. 4 deers near his berries, he can just mill that and be super efficient there. He also has 3 wills on wood, so that indicates scouts, and he will have a very quick uptime. 2 boars in already, has 3 villagers on hunt any moment. So yeah. Better situation for Viper, honestly. Like, deer's close to his berries.
Just in terms of the build, or just the fact that he's getting those deer so close and he's adapted to that, really utilizing that in game?
Yeah, that. Second option. Like, he adapted very well. He realized deers are close to his berries, so might as well take berries. He also has deers close to his other berries, actually. Look at that.
That works out pretty alright.
Like, just making a second meal in Fuel Age and take deers there. Doesn't even have to lure anything. You can... Oh, are you serious? He has a third meal again. On the bottom as well with another deer patch.
And he's actually taking the deer from there as right. You're absolutely right. Each berry bush that he's got here, he's managed to be able to get a kind of a double-decker.
Is this the common map build that you just have deers near every berry bushes?
I'm looking at the moment. I think the only one that doesn't really have it near Hera is actually the one he's chosen to actually build a mill on.
It seems like Mongols are pretty good here then, because you can just meal 3 berry bushes and take deers from each one of those.
Alright, let's jump in and have a look at the POV really quick, just because I know people absolutely love seeing this, so if you haven't played the game much before, this is kind of what it looks like in the early stages of the game. Players basically flicking around, trying to get all the information, see exactly what's going on, and try and get themselves into the best position possible here. So we'll jump over and have a quick look and see what Hera's up to as well.
Hera's trying top 22 pop, forcing food, and he's up as well. He's going on gold, so he's Man-at-Arms or Archers, I guess? Seems like Man-at-Arms. I don't like Man-at-Arms against Mongols. I think it's just a waste of resources. Like, Viper's gonna be up, like, what, 2 minutes earlier than him? He will have 4 scouts out or 3 scouts out when Hera has his Man-at-Arms, and they will just clear it up without being able to do anything.
You're exactly right. We've already got Viper just 80% of the way to Feudal Age now, so it works out very well from him. Haven't really seen Hera commit to anything out of this barracks yet, though. He's 25% of the way there and hasn't really decided to drop any resource into it. He's actually throwing up a mining camp in the back as well. Viper, he's got his barracks up. Of course, the timing is going to be a little bit different there, though.
Yeah.
And there's the stable as Viper hits up into the next age, pretty much instantaneously, being built by the 3 villages as well. Hera, though, we're still waiting on at this stage. He's only just started really creating his militia now.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. He has 1 militia out now, and Viper has his stable up already. He's already producing scouts. And he has all the mobility in the world. He can't move out with his militias because he has to defend his eco, because Viper is just up so much earlier. And yeah, this little... I mean, I don't like this strategy from Hera. As weird as it sounds, I think going only 3 on wood for Mayans, and going 21 pop up, or 22, because you're obviously 1 mill ahead, because you started 4 wills, is the right play here. And to get spears out ASAP, or just archery range in case Mongols go scouts. I mean, archers.
So we've got Hera moving out across the map now, trying to make use of this drush, but exactly like you were saying earlier, we've got Viper already moving across with his scouts. They're basically already in a position where they're ready to start poking, prodding, doing some damage behind this, and he can move them across the map so quickly to be able to get in there, do the damage. Well, this drush is going to be stuck on the other side of the map, and Viper can retreat to the town center pretty easily here. I guess we've got to see some crazy blocks with this eagle.
Seems like Viper didn't see Hera's militias. That's pretty good for him. Can catch a will there. That man should die if there's some blocks.
Man-at-Arms tries to get... does the run around.
Yeah, but he's following with his E.
but the villager will get caught and one villager is
Yeah.
killed off. We can see, though, great quick walls from Hera back at his base, really trying to make use of
Yeah.
those scouts, but Hera just being a little bit too quick for him, so the Drush might actually start paying for itself, and Viper actually starting to pull his villagers off of the deer there, making sure they're out of harm's way, but Hera knows what's up. He's trying to track them down
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Eagle already.
Oh yeah. This is honestly pretty sloppy from Viper. Like he should know that he's going mad arms, looking like from exploring him, having 2 wills on goal and maybe checking the barrack here and there. And you kind of could expect this honestly, like to just have him sneak around with mad arms and just wall his resources. Oh, he found
Tries
him.
to get the quick wall, but it does not work
No,
out. I can tell
no.
you that right now. Committed to the area, and because of that, he's lost 1 villager. Potentially going to lose a second here as well. Third one might escape. Like, I'm hopeful. We'll see how it decides to go. But look at the scout numbers at the moment. The scout numbers from Viper are absolutely crazy. He's cleaning up those men-at-arms extremely easily, and Viper looks like he's back at having map control. He's throwing that mill up on the berries in the back there. Going to resume hunt on the deers and really kind of just push that Mongol advantage he's got.
But now he's already 3 wills behind, so this is looking good for Hera, honestly. Doing double bit axe now, I couldn't afford it before, it seems. He should honestly also take the deers, pretty close to his meal.
Alright, so the next step from Viper here, I guess, is he has to get back in the game in terms of the villager count.
Yeah.
He's not horribly behind, but at the same time here, really kind of looking for some way to be able to kind of get that advantage back again.
Also gets
He needs-
house at pop 30, not ideal. So yeah. He kinda has the 4 station now, honestly. Surprised he's not adding any more military. Only 1 scout. Oh, no archery range. I guess he wants to go straight for Mango Die. But he kinda needs towers as well for that. 'Cause Hera's already doing archers, so...
Yes, he's throwing up the double archery range, Blacksmith
Yeah.
behind that as well. Starting to move out across the map, does have a spear there as well, so he'll be able to continue pushing in against this Viper. Gonna need to find a way to really begin to kind of hurt this. And look at this, Hera's got some defensive spears out already to deal with those scouts. Is looking for a villager that he can kind of pick off, checking the HP around here. Everything's still looking pretty good. Potentially could get into the wood line here, get a pick, and then get out of there before the spears can really kind of do too much. And fighting back with the villagers, and the scouts are forced to flee. But let's have a look in the top here. We do have Hera moving out with those archers and the spear. The one spear is enough to push the scouts away, though. So
Only
we will
1
see
spear though, like this, no fletching. Like, this army will die 100% to anything. Even to those 3 scouts, they will die. I would have liked to see two spears. Because 1 spear doesn't do anything. Like, sure, you push them off berries, but there's no way you're gonna kill a vill with only 3 archers and 1 spear without fletching. Now he does a fletching. Viper takes 1 hit from the spear. Another one. He has fletching now. Not taking the best engagement here.
We did have a small raid in Hera's base there as well. Viper did manage to take out a
Ooh,
couple of
the
archers
scouts.
before he had to move out.
Oh boy. Yeah, those are dead. Except 1.
Here we go. Oh, yeah, that hurts. Some freebies there. Hera, yeah, starting to look better and better in this game at the moment.
Also killed like 1 woman, two villagers at Viper's woodline. Also killed like 2 scouts there, so he killed like 4 scouts and 2 vills in total.
So we've got a distinct advantage here towards Hera in terms of the vill
5
count.
villagers ahead, and also
Yeah.
military looks even, so looking very good for Hera, honestly.
Very smartly played. Didn't, of course, have the best start there, a little bit rocky, but managed to kind of get the kills with the man-at-arms, started to pull that in a little bit further, and it's given him a little bit of an advantage here to really work with. He just needs to hold on to this one now, and eventually he's just going to be able to begin to out-pop.
Yeah. And now he can just relax, stay back, make town watch, make some outposts and see where Viper is coming from, because he is the one who has to force the issue now.
I feel like the biggest thing we could see here potentially as well is just Hera moving out a little bit too, I guess, gung-ho, like we've seen with those archers across the map here.
Yeah.
If he gets cleaned up on them, it's really going to kind of hurt his ability to do anything, especially when he starts looking at Castle Age as well, because he just won't have the numbers for the technology he's always looking for.
But I think those archers, moving out of those archers is completely fine if you are planning to switch to eagles in Castle Age. But I don't think that's what he wants to do, so I'm not sure if I agree with moving out of those archers. Like, that's the thing, he already killed like 5 villagers. He doesn't need to kill more. Like, yeah, now he's lucky that he finds those 3 villagers. Oh, he's not even shooting. Oh, there you go.
Alright, here we are. We did see a little bit of a snipe back over at Hera's base as well. Scout did take out a villager, but he lost 2 scouts to the town center there. So I get that he's trying to pull his way back into the game here, but at the same time, still a pretty big loss overall. And like you were saying, sadly didn't notice those villagers too early with the archers there. Managed to snag 1, potentially could snag a second one here as well, but here come the scouts to clean it up.
Like, this play should not work, honestly. I mean, it might look like a good play because you kill like 2 villagers who have 35 food on them, but this army should just get cleared up, and honestly it was pretty lucky there sniping those villagers. Or did he explore the deers? That would be a genius move, but I don't think so. Did he explore? Nada. He didn't explore it. I don't think so. I don't think so. He was trying to go to his wood line, I'm pretty sure. So
Viper really starting to push his military right now, 15 compared to 11. So slowly starting to kind of creep ahead there, but the villager count still pretty, like, just so in favor of Hera right now. I've got 42 compared to 33. That's a huge difference. Absolutely huge.
It seems like he's going to Eagles. I like that.
So Eagle transition is coming up then. Market getting thrown up for Hera as well.
I would like to see Hera getting to stone so he can get the plumes ASAP, because Mongols don't really have too much against plumes in Imp, early Imp. And obviously Castle obviously helps a lot as well in protection.
So another barracks getting thrown up behind this as well. Scouts looking for someone to do damage. There's a lot of scouts out in the play by Viper at the moment. They are
this
highly
is all
mobile.
in by Viper. And, well, imagine Viper has, imagine Hera has 5 more archers now.
That's it, it adds up.
Yeah, I mean, it adds up. Everything adds up, honestly. Like, this is Viper's only play where he can come back. Like, he knows he lost like 5 vills and plus those 2 vills of the deer, so he's like 7, 8 vills. And this is Viper's only play, and imagine Hera has 5 archers.
Hera actually pulling the builds into the engagement here as well, something you never really want to see. Could see this get evened up very, very quickly. Skirmishes being used to target the archers here. Eagle's doing a good job on top of the skirmishes, but at the same time, there's so much light cavalry here.
I mean, this is still fine for Hera. He has numbers. He has +1 on his spears / eagles. And Viper doesn't have bloodlines, which is a big deal, a really big deal.
And something else as well. We've got Castle Age on the way for Hera behind this.
Yeah.
And look at that, everything's been cleaned up. Viper's army knocked out of the run. We did see a lot of Hera's army as well, but Hera on the way to Castle Age?
Yeah.
Is Eagles the plan, is the real question behind that? Or do you think he's, well, I guess the option is plumes aren't really an option at this stage.
Yeah, I guess he will just have to TC a stone and mine stone that way and get his castle up that way. But for now he's making a 3rd barrack even. So it's gonna be Eagles for sure. It's just not bad, honestly. There's nothing a feudal age player can do against Castle Age Eagles. There's no unit you can make to stop them, except Mad Arms, which are like, you know, against Mayans Mad Arms, like... Oh no, waiting for data.
Oh, no, we're all good.
Thank God.
And looking at it as well, Viper's not even clicked up to Castle Age yet. He's only got
all
100 food in the bank. He's really kind of looking for any answer he can find here to really be able to kind of push this one to the next step. And he's just got to try and do the damage in feudal, I guess, at this stage, but it's looking like we could have a little bit of an issue here.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Hera reaches Castle Age, Viper shouldn't be able to do any damage anymore.
So we've got a raid coming in from Viper as well, trying to do what damage he can in Hera's woodlines, but it doesn't make things easy at this stage.
Well, switching the scene. Okay, so we're switching to my PC basically. Okay, cool. Waiting for data. Oh boy, I don't like this. Ah, shit. Alright. I guess we are asking the players to pause again. We'll jump right into the game again.
So we've just got the players paused while waiting for the game here to catch up at the moment. Already on the way. We did see a great play from Hera early on in the game. Did really try and do some damage when it came to the man-at-arms. Got quite a few villager picks considering what we were expecting from him. And really did manage to clean up Viper quite well.
Yeah, I mean, that fight was very nicely. Like, Viper didn't have bloodlines, which was a big deal. Because suddenly his scouts have, I don't know, instead of 500 HP, they would have like 700, so... But either way, Hera should have this game in his bags. He's up fast to Castle Age, better economy, better army. As long as he doesn't lose all his economy now to feudal age scouts, should be fine, honestly.
And that's what we've kind of seen. He's cleaned up most of it relatively easy. He was setting himself up for Eagles as well, so getting into a relatively good position from there. And like you were saying, there's nothing really that a Feudal Age army has that could deal with actual Eagle warriors, especially once they start getting the armor behind them. So at that point, it just becomes cleaning up the main bulk of Viper's army, getting in, doing some damage where they can, and basically just ending the game at that point if Viper can't hold on.
Yeah. So the way you play this from Hera's perspective is now, just wait till you Castle Age. Don't waste any units till Castle Age, because for now Viper's scouts are still stronger than your Eagles, because they're fully upgraded with Bloodlines, +1 armor, +1 attack. And once you Castle Age, you get more attack on your Eagles, +3, and that's when you start engaging and win fights. Also, they're way cheaper, so that's how you play this game, if you're a Hera.
Things get done.
Let's see if he does it, and if he does it, I'm pretty sure he will win this one.
That's it. He just needs to, I guess, watch his commitment, make sure he just attacks in the right places, and doesn't just throw units away. Because that gives, because the Viper's just such a good player that at the end of the day, if you give him a chance to get back in the game, he'll take it. He'll take it with both hands, and it will become a huge issue to begin to deal with.
Yeah. What minute are we on your screen? Should be fine soon, I hope.
21.
Well, I can
Not
catch
far
up
off at all at this stage. And we should be just about back into the game as well, guys, so we will be ready to continue in just 1 second.
Sweet.
Alrighty. And that's the raid we were looking at. Bang, Castle Age for Hera.
I didn't even see that.
It's happening. It's real.
I saw it was going up to Castle Age, but I didn't see the Castle Age kick in.
Alright, Castle Age has kicked in.
Before that.
He's got his Eagle Warrior upgrade on the way now as well, so we are just about ready to go. And let's see what we've got to work with here. Eagle Warrior should be kicking in just about any minute here. Research has been queued up. Viper knows what's going on now, and he knows he's in trouble. Best move from him, though. He started the Man-at-Arms research behind this as well. He knows what's going on. Second Barracks is getting dropped up behind this as well. So he is aware exactly of what needs to be going on here as well. But Viper, again, just trying to raid wherever he can. Gets 2 villages on the gold here down in the back. And no, he needs to get to Castle Age. That's the problem here.
Yeah, I mean, Man-at-Arms do fine against Eagle Warriors, but they're not the unit to go in the long term. You kind of don't want to do them, ideally. You just want to make Knights and Mangodai. Against Eagles it doesn't really work if you're in Feudal Age, so...
We are starting to see the raids come in from the Viper as well, or against the Viper I should say. Eagle Warriors are moving in, trying to get some watchtowers up defensively as well to kind of do his best behind this. Again, just garrisoning the towers, trying to clean up these Eagle Warriors as best as possible. The problem we're having though is Viper's just spending so much resource on units right now to try and deal with this. Castle Age is going to be such an issue for him to hit.
Yeah, and he has to keep making Man-at-Arms to defend against the Eagles. Like, if he just masses his resources to till 800 food, he will just get dead rated, and then Castle Age doesn't matter anymore either. So you kind of have to find the right balance between defending his economy properly and trying to mass up resources to get up to Castle Age.
So Viper again, huge amount of scouts on play here, but the units just are not going to be as cost effective as they really need to be here. Hera just again finding more and more positions to kind of get the raiding on, but Viper throwing up lots and lots of watchtowers around the map just to try and minimize all of this as much as possible, and honestly he's holding up pretty well. We've even seen a bit of a tech switch there from Hera as well, move into crossbows behind this as well.
Yeah, I don't mind Expo, although I would just rather see him go for a TC on a stone and then just go plumes. Because Expo are nice and stuff, but they're not gonna do much in Castle Age once Viper reaches Castle Age, because he's gonna have 20 light casts with +2 armor, and then he's gonna pump out Knights from 3 stables probably. So Expo is a nice solution for now, but not the way to go in long term.
Not the complete answer.
Yeah.
Again, all these Eagles just trying to find somewhere in Viper's base just to do some kind of damage at the moment. Like we were saying, we've got some farms over here in the back that could be a really good target. No tower really around there, manages to get one. Does clean up some of the Man-at-Arms while he has the number advantage here. Pulls up this one here as well and decides to retreat out of there. Viper though, a lot of Man-at-Arms in play, even starting to get the armor upgrade behind that one as well.
With those Man-at-Arms he should be fine. Problem is for him that he's still not clicking up to Castle Age anytime soon, it seems, with those resources he has. 200 food, 10 gold, yeah, that's looking pretty good for Hera, honestly. Although he's still taking some damage here and there against scouts. He needs TCs to protect himself. like crossbows are nice and stuff for attack, but by the time he has enough crossbows to move out, Viper will have towered everything and he won't be able to make any damage to his economy.
Even then though, I'm having a look at Viper's resource right now and he's got barely 100 food in the bank. He's spending it basically as fast as he can get it right now. He's looking at so many farms in play. He's got barrier villages over on the corner of the map as well, trying to figure out literally anywhere he can to get more food income from without having to spend too much resources. And every time he starts to get up to 200, 250, he has to just dump it all into units to start defending from these Eagle Warriors.
Yeah. That's just a problem for Viper's perspective.
And now as well that we've got those crossbows starting to get just rolled into the fight at the moment, Viper's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with this with the man-at-arms as well.
Yeah. Well, 3 crossbows from Hera, I mean, those are nice and stuff, but they aren't really making the difference here. Like, they're nice against the man-at-arms, but Viper has 3 towers and can easily drop another one with the market, probably. Actually, does he have a market? No, actually, he doesn't have a market. There's not much more stone he has to take. Only 700 more stone to mine. You wanna get a castle up as Mongols as well, so pretty awkward situation for him.
So much military on the field at the moment for both players as well. Scout Cavalry just doing their best against the Eagles right now and actually starting to get on top of this one. Man-at-arms do catch up in the big engagement here as well. Viper looks like he's starting to take it.
Yeah, he will clear up everything.
And he cleans up everything there. Starts to keep all these lumberjacks as well idle as best he can, trying to make things as difficult as possible. Viper just starting to set up more and more little farming communities over the map as well. He just needs that food income at the moment. He just can't keep it up enough to get to castle.
I think now he can start massing resources. Now he just get up his whole economy and my D just crashed.
What have we got from Hera? No third town center as of yet, no second town center as of yet as well. Has committed everything to the raiding now and hasn't really got too much effect from it. We've actually got Viper on a higher village account at 56 compared to 51, and he's actually got the high military account behind this as well. So Hera may have overcommitted a little bit here at the moment for what he was expecting as well. And there's about to be a huge light cavalry raid on Hera's base as well.
Yeah. I mean, Viper is still not up to castle age, so that's the good thing for Hera. So as long as he doesn't take major damage and he just booms up a few TCs, he should still be in a really good spot. Like he can't, like Viper can't dive TCs. He can dive towers and kill and take fights against Hera's army, but he can't dive TCs. He just needs to another TC.
And again, Hera just trying to find somewhere to raid here or get the counter raid anyway. That's a lot of men-at-arms there that could be killing those villages, and it looks like he's actually going to turn around and go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, really getting. I should pick a couple of villages here at least. There's one. Should.
Yeah, free,
oh, the race is on.
Free, yeah.
The race is absolutely on.
Those are faster than the. Hey, he went back.
Good Hera again, just poking, prodding, trying to do any kind of damage. And it looks like the light cavalry at the moment from Viper have, not even light cavalry, sorry, the scout cavalry.
This is
spotted a
ugly.
TC.
Oh no. Oh, he has eagles coming, but those are all dead.
A little bit too late.
Actually, he has more eagles coming from the right side. I mean, he lost some vills, which is obviously not
The
ideal
town center's been
scenario.
delayed. He's lost some villages, but it's not an end of the world type scenario there. We've got Hera again, just trying to just do any kind of damage he can. Might discover this remote farming town though, and if he discovers that, it'll give him some raiding opportunity as well.
These raids with crossbows and eagles aren't really doing anything. Like they were good when he hit Castle Age, because Viper didn't have towers there yet, but now they're just useless. Like Viper has 5 to 10 scouts and few men-at-arms at home every time.
And Viper again, still struggling to kind of hit that 300 food mark at this point.
He's just wasting army. Like Hera's only wasting army. All he has to do is drop another TC, maybe a third one, make eagles, and wait for your castle. Wait for your stone miners to gather enough stone. He doesn't have to do damage. He's in Castle Age with the same amount of vills than Viper. He just has to protect his economy from the Feudal Age army from Viper.
And again, the raids from Hera just falling flat, trying to kind of keep that army count down of Viper at this stage, but it's just not really working out to much effect. Viper at this point is actually starting to have a higher military number in general as well. He's got the higher village account at this point, despite the fact he's been stuck in Feudal Age for the last 37 minutes of gameplay, and he still can't get over 300 food in the bank. He's just forced to keep building unit after unit after unit now, and Hera just hasn't found a way to punch through it.
Yeah. I mean, you might say Hera is forcing Viper to do so much units, but he has like 4 or 5 defensive towers at home, so like you already made the damage early castle age, so you don't have to overcommit again. Like this is all overcommitment in my opinion. All you have to do is just make 1-2 TCs, get your castle up, and then you have better army in Imp.
And even then, let's have a look around. Third town center is finally coming up for Hera here as well, just on the front towards the berries and gold.
That's what he has to do.
And he's just got to, like you said, he's got to boom up behind this. He's got to really hold on to what's going on here. And as soon as he gets that, he's in a position to begin fighting back. But Viper, we're hitting that 600 food mark now. He's dropped all military production behind this. Looks like he just wants to start getting Castle Age up and running, and then he'll be on and into the next stage. He's got 800 gold in the bank, or nearly 800 gold in the bank as well. So it's going to be pretty rough once he gets there, especially considering how close the villager counts are, because he hasn't even fallen that far behind in terms of economy as well.
Yeah, I mean, Viper just lost all his army, so that's a big plus for Hera. Now he's free to do whatever he wants to do with his army and can boom up behind. But once Viper gets to Castle Age, he'll pump out knights from free stables constantly. So that's when Hera has to worry again about his economy. I would like to see a monastery from him, just to get some monks out, because the only way Viper comes back from this game now is if he does major damage in Castle Age now, with knights to his economy.
So at this stage, Hera should be preparing. He's got his 3 TCs up.
Exactly.
Should be preparing some kind of defense to be able to begin with that knight raid that we're about to
make
see.
a monastery, get some monks out, some outposts to see where Viper will come from with his knights. And yeah, just wait till Imp, honestly. Make some plumes in the meanwhile. That's how you win the game.
Hera starting to try and take some map control with his military at the moment. Viper's kind of let it go a little bit just because he was trying to save up the resources to get into Castle Age, which 60% of the way there now. He just needs to stay alive a little bit longer, but he's got so many towers absolutely everywhere. It makes him nearly impossible to raid behind this. We do have Hera taking stone though, so he's up to 350. So like you said, we'll be looking at plumes eventually, even just getting that defensive castle up to stop the raiding hit quite so hard. But he has gone for an aggressive siege workshop, and he's going for rams from that as well.
I don't understand the play. Like, you don't have to make damage, you just have to boom up. Like, you're ahead in economy and army as well in this case. There's no need to force the issue and risk something. Like, a push is always a risk.
Alright, and here we go. Battering rams are out. He's trying to make that damage happen, but Viper hitting over very, very quick. And there we go, Castle Age, and like you said, 3 knights immediately queued up. We've got chain barding behind that as well.
And the siege workshop, not a castle.
Starting to take down this, and at the same time, we do have pikes, I guess, out at the same time, so that's going to be at least a little bit of Hera's answer.
Pikes are fine to push, but I don't agree with this push. Like, there's no need to push. It's unnecessarily. Just unnecessary risk he's taking. Because there's always a chance that he loses the fight terribly against some mangonel shots or something. But he can just lay back, raid here and there.
I guess the good news behind this as well for Hera is he's actually got quite a way ahead in terms of villager count now as well. 92 compared to 63. It starts to build up, and I don't know if we've got any extra town centers coming up from Viper as well now. Looks like he's just going straight for the knight push, which means that Hera can just hold on here, or at least hold Viper in his base. He's just going to start slowly pushing further and further ahead, and he'll start to really kind of snowball into that victory.
Yeah, and Hera's getting his first castle up now, so this game should be pretty over if he just starts adding plumes now and goes up to imps anytime soon. It should be his game then.
Alright, one bang L from Viper as well. Going to be able to hold this back quite effectively. A lot of knights behind it as well, so really trying to do what he can here. And he needs to find a way to push out now. I guess that's the thing. He's been held in his base for so long. He's finally got the tech he needs. He's got the units he needs. He's got a huge amount of income, which sadly nowhere near close to what Hera actually has at the moment. But he needs to find a way to start evening this one up a little bit. Scorpion actually pops out of the siege workshop there as well.
Yeah, I mean, this game should be over. Like, I don't think there's any way Hera throws this.
Hera actually on his way to Imperial Age behind this as well, so we'll even be able to start the Treb War just that much earlier, and he really won't he'll be able to knock Viper out without really presenting himself as a target behind this as well.
Seems like he's going for Eagles. That's fine as well, honestly. Like, there's no Castle Age unit which beats Mass Eagles with Eldorado and all the upgrades. Could have also just gone Blooms with some defensive strategy. Was fine as well, but he chose to push, so the game was over regardless of that, if he chose to push or not, so GG.
GG. Alright, let's have a quick look at the achievements. What have we got there? Hera, I want to see how many units do we kill. Look at this units killed, units lost. They were just throwing units at each other from the whole beginning of the game here.
Pretty crazy. Largest army 33 against 32, and all that army was man-at-arms scouts.
Man-at-arms scouts, a couple of skirmishes mixed in there as well.
Yeah. Although Viper did collect more food after all, in the end. It's quite surprising.
Look, economy.
But that's just how Mongol works on this map, when you have 3 patches of tiers near your berries, I guess.
Well, that's it. He really did abuse that bonus as much as possible there.
Really hard.
Let's have a look at that. Look at those castle age timings. 24 minutes from Hera, 42
numbers.
minutes from Viper.
Not the quickest one.
It was a big commitment to make, but he just couldn't hold out by the look of it there at the moment. Alright, looks like the players are just taking a quick second to kind of catch their breath. We have had 3 games in a row here.
Yeah.
But I guess we're on to Viper's first map pick now, which brings us back to Arena.
Arena, okay.
Interesting map choice, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Wonder what both players are gonna pick. I think Hera's gonna go for Malay or maybe Britons. Maybe he already. Wait, did Hera already use Aztecs or did Viper use Aztecs? Who used
Aztecs?
Okay, so Viper doesn't have Aztecs anymore, but while Hera has, might go for that. Could be an option as well. Maybe he goes for Khmer. You never know, but I don't think he goes for Khmer though.
Alright, we're just waiting for the next lobby to get set up, guys, as soon as they're back from their break. Essentially, up until now, we have seen Hera kind of catching his groove there a little bit. He was just a whole step ahead, I would say, in terms of the game there, pretty much most of that one. I think the only real dicey thing we had was the man-at-arms that got played. Could have gone either way. Did manage to get a couple of good kills with those, and then managed to push out from there. So he's done a really good job so far.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think the man-at-arms was the right play. I think against Mongols, the problem was that Viper just went aggressive, not knowing what Hera was doing, which is something you don't really see that often. And yeah, he just got caught off guard. He got blocked the villager against the eagle with 3 man-at-arms, so that was one wheel down. And then he obviously also found the other meal, so definitely a good exploration from Hera, but also sloppiness from Viper, I would say.
So just making use of all those moments that you can. And then from that, I guess, coming into Arena, how comfortable do you feel Hera is on this map? So Viper's picked it, so obviously he's gone well. Really happy to play this map. It's kind of what I've been preparing for. It's what I've been working towards. Being the same team member as Hera, playing a lot of practice matches together, how do you find his Arena game is?
I think in Arena it's a lot of, like almost everything depends on the strategy and how you execute it. I think both players are good enough to execute their strategy perfectly, or almost perfectly. So it all comes down to which strategy you go for. Like, when do you try to fight? When do you try to push? When do you think your enemy will try to push? What do you do against it? All those questions matter. And that obviously also depends on your map and on the Sif matchup, obviously.
Oh, of course, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So behind that as well, obviously going up against a player like Viper in the first round, which, look, you've had to deal with enough times. Is it kind of a little bit... Is it a little bit dicey in terms of the way? Does it shake your confidence at all?
I don't think so. I mean, everyone knows how great of a player Viper is, and I think for now you're always gonna go up against him as the underdog, so you have more to win than to lose. And yeah, it's a chance to prove yourself, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So do you think that last win that we got there, because obviously going down 2-0, it kind of does things for your nerves, your confidence. You want to play a little bit safer. You want to kind of sit in your cage a little bit, sit in your box. Do you think that's going to be kind of a good thing for him now, that he's going to feel a little bit, I guess, a little bit more confident to kind of execute his strategies, and he goes, no, it can be beaten. I'm in shape. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, that win definitely helps Hera. Obviously, he knows he can beat him. He just got to make the right moves at the right time.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing in AOC, I believe. Knowing when to attack, knowing with what to attack. And yeah, executing is all, like, at the top level, executing your strategy is only, like, the smallest part, I would say. Only, like, 20-25% of your win. Others all goes down to when to attack, with what to attack, and what do you think your enemy will do next, how do you think your enemy will defend, all this stuff.
Absolutely, and kind of just gets back to something we were talking about a couple of games before as well. How different is it, because you're so used to playing online tournaments, online matches, things like that, do you find the LAN kind of setup that you've got in here really affects your play, and do you think that's something that could be influencing this as well, because Viper does have a little bit more experience in that LAN setup?
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel it on myself as well. Like I've been to 3 lands already. This is my 4th one, I believe. 4th, 5th, something like that. And today I just went into the game and I knew I was confident. Like I was already used to the setup. So it definitely is an advantage for Viper that he is so experienced. Like it's definitely an advantage for him. And obviously Hera, his 2nd LAN actually after ECL.
Oh, it's very, very true,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I don't know how I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But no, he's got some experience now, especially
Yeah.
recently as well. Man, I'm trying to remember who he played in the 1v1s at ECL, actually.
Was it?
Was it Jordan?
No, Emil played against Jordan, right?
MBL
In the
did play
final,
against
yeah,
Jordan,
yeah.
you're right.
Did he
And
even
you
play
played
1v1?
against Viper? I don't think he did,
I
actually.
don't think he
about
only
it.
played team games, I believe.
There you go. So it's pretty much his first 1v1
Yeah, pretty
of
much,
a LAN,
yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
These are his first matches, guys. And
Yeah.
like we said as well, going up against someone so imposing, but he's got his game now as well.
Yeah.
So he's feeling a little bit confident. So we should be just about right to go now as well, I believe.
Humans against Britons. Ooh, ooh.
All right, guys, we
Humans.
are loading into the game. As Liereyy said,
very
humans
interesting.
versus Britons. Interesting.
This is really interesting, actually. As we all know, humans got nerfed quite hard in the last patch. Their keep checks got heavily nerfed. Their stab lance got the hammer nerf on them. So they're kinda, I wouldn't say trash, but definitely way worse than they were used to before. So it's kinda hard to find an army composition you want to go for with humans in late game.
Absolutely.
Nowadays.
So towards the east of the map, in the blue, we do have the Viper playing as humans. I expect everyone to know that logo. Towards the west, in the red, we do have Hera playing as the Britons. Viper did, of course, pick this map as well. He has picked humans behind it, so I like to think he's got a strategy here he's got in mind. Humans as well, I think it makes it pretty obvious.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts behind that?
Well, obviously, he wants to abuse the human bonus as hard as possible, so he will try to up to Feudal Age as fast as possible.
So that's
to make
for
them-
those at home as well, that
Yeah.
donates the multiple TCs in Feudal Age.
Yeah, there's one TC available to make in Feudal Age for humans. It takes longer to build, though. That's a big change as well. I think they nerfed that as well, so it takes longer to build.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Most recent patch.
yeah. And that way you can just pump out more villages earlier, and with those you can collect resources more earlier, basically. So it just boosts your economy.
So if that's the case, do you think we'll see him commit into that feudal age
Yeah,
TC
for sure.
essentially?
For sure, yeah.
And then from there, do you think we'll see a big castle age aggression? Or do you think he'll just try and snowball it all the way into imperial age?
I think he will try to snowball with it on Imperial Age, just because I don't think you can rush Britons. Like, you can just make Expo, or you can just mangonel defense. Like, there isn't really a good unit you can make with humans, I feel like, to push. Like, how good of the monks do they have? Let me check. Well,
Alright, so while Liereyy is checking that, we'll just jump around the map nice and quickly, see what's going on here. So for Hera, gold towards the front, not exactly super close for either of his resources there. Does have a stone again on the edge, but not exactly worried about any damage there. Gold relatively towards the back, and then in the back of his base though, very minimal trees, but a lot of safe trees to actually take from here. Does have a small amount of stone outside the base as well. Moving over for Viper, in the back we do have a large secure gold section for him. Does have a big section of wood in the back should he need it as well if any push comes in. Does have a stone quite close to the front here and has already forced a deletion by the looks of things as well. How'd your research go?
well, they do have Redemption and Sanctity, so they are an option in Castle Age. They do not have Block Printing and Fear Racy, so those are the two most important upgrades in Imp if you want to go for monks. So I don't think we will see any monks from Viper this game, at least not for fighting, maybe for collecting relics, but that's about it. So, especially against Britons, monks don't feel really useful, because obviously Britons will probably try to go for these ranged units, which have a ton of range, so monks will be less effective, they will just get sniped down. So, I
So
don't
thus
think
far-
we'll see anything, any aggression.
Yeah,
from
Arena
Viper.
being pretty build orientated
Yeah, yeah.
kind of at the start of the game, just trying to run things as optimally as possible. We've got Viper pushing in some of his extra deer essentially at this point, and then behind that did have 3 villages on wood. Biggest differential I'm seeing here is the 4 villages we've actually seen from Hera on wood in comparison.
Yeah, and this is because obviously Hera wants to go for fast castle, because that's just what you do in Arena nowadays. And Viper wants to up as fast as possible to Feudal Age to make the DC as fast as possible, to start the snowballing effect as fast as possible.
So we've got Boar coming in from Hera here as well, also pushing in as many of those Ibex as possible as well. A couple of villagers on berries, of course, just throwing up his houses. Pretty normal start from both players at this stage. In terms of where the relics are located, we do have 1 and 2, both pretty close to Viper's walls here. We've got one relatively close to Hera, one pretty much in the middle of both players, and then a relatively neutral relic off towards the north side as well.
Yeah, I think it's a bit favored Viper, the relic positions, but not really a big deal, I would say. I think it would still go like 3-2 for either one. I think 3-2 for Hera if he decides to go for relics when he reaches Castle Age.
In terms of our extra gold layouts as well, we have one directly in front of Viper's base, one over towards the north, and one a little bit closer towards Hera, but still relatively open in terms of its position as well.
Gold position pretty even. Each player has one gold. Actually, that's Viper's third gold, I just realized. Okay, Hera's as well. So each player has his third gold outside of the base, and there's an extra gold close to them. So pretty even, like that. And no player has a back base, actually.
Yeah, no one's... I guess Viper's got a little bit more of a secure wood in the back
bit
there
more
with his
space,
gold.
I would say.
But yeah, he's got nowhere he can kind of really run and hide.
Yeah. He has 2 stones forward, so that's not ideal. Oh, Barak. Does he want to drop a TC forward, or what is his plan?
I am excited.
Me too, actually. Wonder what this is up to. Maybe.
Alright, so just to reiterate exactly what's happened here, Viper has picked this map as a map he wanted to play. He's picked his Civ behind it as well, and dropping a barracks like this, it sounds like he's a man with a plan.
I wonder. He's on stone, so he will tower rush, it seems. He will make at least more than 1 tower. And Hera's gonna explore it, gonna find it, but not really. I don't think Viper cares too much since he's already up to fuel age any second. So Hera was gonna see it eventually anyway.
Alright, so Viper drops forward Blacksmith, brings the villagers forward. What do you decide to do? Tower comes up. Back at home.
Looks like it's a tower rush.
No extra town center.
Not yet, at least. Quite interesting. But I don't think tower rushes should work in Arena, as I already mentioned a couple times before. Hera's already up to fuel age, making a barrack. What? Does he want to go for archers or what? I guess that's his response.
So Watchtower is up. Oh, there you go. Of course, the Siege Workshop.
I forgot about that.
Of course, this is what he's going for. He can build battering rams in Feudal Age, so he'll actually be able to push in and then continue the Siege Workshop
Tower
push.
rush rams.
Tower rush behind that. Archery range coming up for Hera to try and defend this. We were so focused on the extra TC,
Yeah.
man.
I
We were
mean,
too focused.
This looks like a kind of all-in strategy, a kind of not too serious strategy, but it does sound good on paper, honestly. Like, you have a rams, you have towers to follow it up with fletching. I don't think there's much Hera can do right now. Like, the worst part is he committed to Castle Age, it seems. I mean, committed to Feudal Age, Hera. There's no way he can stop this push in Feudal Age.
Alright, this is... Yeah, he's going to have to pull the villagers to help deal with the rams, essentially.
Yeah, and then Viper can just repair the ram or just make a tower behind him.
That's it, just continue pushing with the towers, knock out all his military buildings, especially around the side here.
Yeah.
He can take out that archery range relatively easy, same thing goes for the blacksmith. And the battering rams on the way, obviously an expensive unit for the feudal age, but he can do it and he can make it work as well.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look that bad, honestly. Outpost, makes sense, Town Watch coming in right in time. And I wonder how Hera's gonna respond. Like, he has nothing to defend this. Like,
He
archers
puts
won't
up
cut it.
Defensive tower, he can get a couple of archers out from the archery range, but essentially that's it.
Hera is up to Castlish though, so that's very good for him. He just needs a Mangala. He needs like 2 Mangalas out and he can push all his back.
Absolutely.
This is why I don't like Fuel Lodges too much on Arena, because enemy will up super fast to Castlish and can just push you back. I'm not sure what that tower is supposed to do from Hera.
And that battering ram just doing what it does best, battering down those buildings, making things relatively easy for him here. And man, that's it. All of this just keeps coming up further and further.
Yeah.
And he just keeps pushing out. So battering rams just making this so easy to deal with. And how does Hera respond? And this is one of the things I guess Viper really has the strongest thing for in terms of the actual build here, is the fact that he prepares such such a, I guess, niche strategy that people don't know how to deal with overall.
Yeah. I mean, the tower was clearly a fail. So, okay. I mean, you saw that, well, both had one tower up, or Hera almost had his tower up. And one player had a ram, and the other player couldn't kill the ram because there was a tower shooting, defending the ram from behind. So yeah.
So the problem is he's got 3 rams right now, and he can't kill any of them.
True. That's the thing. A stable won't help either because you have towers, and you can just pull the ram back and repair it. In worst case, he just continues to tower rush here. Honestly, I'm pretty sure there's nothing Hera can do. Honestly, he kind of needs mangonels. I'm not sure what he did the archer range for.
We've got him moving into the stable, so he's getting a couple of knights out behind this, so we'll be able to clean up the battering rams relatively easy. How can Viper kind of complement this? He's got an archery range up in the front here as well, starting to get archers out, so he's starting to load up those towers as much as possible to just keep things just as much of an issue as possible for him to be able to get to deal with here.
I don't think there's much Hera can do, honestly. Like, he needs a mangonel to stop this push. Like, that's all he needs. Other overview. What other overview? This one?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Nothing changed for me.
Villager count-wise, though, pretty even overall. We do have Hera in Castle Age, though, so it looks like it's a little bit of a reverse swap on last match, where we did have Hera up into Castle Age and then Viper stuck in Feudal, and bang, we're back into that situation again. It looks like we do have the villagers pushing forward over to the woodline there as well, and it looks like Viper trying to wall them in, maybe a little bit ambitious.
Yeah. But I don't think there's much Hera can do, honestly. Like, Hera, I mean, Viper can always fall back to his tower, and Hera can never dive those. You just make next tower here, and then he won't be able to take the wood anymore. Not the gold anymore either. This gold he can't really take either, because he will just tower here then.
This is,
this is not a good position for Hera, honestly.
This is a huge issue.
Yeah. I don't know why he went for the archery range. I guess he was expecting some, like, archers from Viper himself, and he didn't expect that ram, that's for sure. Otherwise, he would have never put the archer in.
There's no way he expected that ram to come in.
I didn't see it coming either, although he went fuel edge rush. I completely forgot about the ram as well.
And the villagers are starting to get picked off there as well with those archers, and all they have to do every time just retreat back to those towers, make it as hard as possible to kill them off.
Those villas in this tower and the archers in this tower, exactly.
Exactly, then load the villagers up, just keep damaging away at those knights. Those battering rams, they just have so much HP as well.
In the meanwhile, he loses the knights. Well, he can just
repair those. They just get damaged down, and like you said, there was nowhere he can really take gold from inside his base. Good news is, just towards up the north of his base, he has actually started taking gold by the looks of things.
This is very good.
So he has got a town center up there, he has got some gold production, so he can keep building those knights behind things there. But at the end of the day here, it just makes it so hard for Hera to be able to hold on here.
Okay, he's doing a siege workshop. He's not cleaning up a mangonel just yet. The thing is that Viper's push will just continue here from tower to tower, and there's nothing Hera can do right now.
I guess the big thing is, if Hera can just continue to survive it, outboom it from there, like we did see in one of the other games as well, then he'll be in a relatively good position to kind of hold this one.
Yeah. As I said, like, these wood lines, like, the number camp was also a mistake. Should have moved to here. The Rams getting followed. Let's see what Viper's economy is like. Well, not looking to up to Castle anytime soon, at least. Eating the TC here. Yeah, he's moving now. Well, the Viper saw it. So he will just continue his rush over here, I guess, because there's nothing to accomplish anymore. That would be my guess. Sure, you can idle some farms, but you would need like at least 2 more towers for that. And yeah. Hera needs a mangonel. They can't afford one because of this lumber camp. Gonna speed up a little bit, since you're a bit behind. Not sure why.
And trying to take down that town center as best as possible there. And town center
actually got it down. Quite quick. Wonder how that happened.
And the good news is for Hera as well, he did have that extra town center up, so he does have something to kind of work with here.
He doesn't even have wood for lumber camp. Oh, this is not good, man. This is painful to watch, actually. Why is he going for this lumber camp?
Oh, man.
When he has a mangonel out now, that's a good thing, but I fear it's too late.
Alright, so I guess the thing is, you put yourself in Hera's kind of shoes here. What can you do to kind of push forward from this? He does have the town center on the other side, so he does still have an active town center. Can't really take too much wood, though, just because of what we're looking at, but does decide to drop an extra town center down. Is this still kind of enough to hold out? Because remember, Viper still is in Feudal Age. He's still kind of cruising at what he's doing. Hasn't really kind of pushed it too hard. Do you think Hera's in kind of a bit of position here where he can't really kind of push out, he just needs to sit back and rebuild? Or is his best option to try and find some way to get aggressive and try and get those knights in there to do some damage and basically just cut his losses on his base at the moment?
I mean, he definitely has to just stay calm, defend, boom up, and mass 2-3 Mangonels, maybe with a monastery behind, because Viper's already doing his stable now. He can't probably see the stable, but he should expect the stable. Also, if Viper was up, the most logic thing he could do was nice, just to snipe the siege, because he has nothing to protect the siege. So he'll probably have to move from this area as well, once the scouts come in and kill his Mangonel.
Well, that's it. We just see a couple of extra towers, keep pushing that section, and it just becomes such an issue to actually be able to deal with even further than that. And again, just having a quick speed up here.
Yeah.
And Mangonel looking for some kills, but can't really find anything. Viper's just still producing those rams, continue to just batter down the remains of Hera's base. And Viper, I guess, starting to think about Castle Age, but at the same time, doesn't really have the food in the bank for it. And again, he's committing to that Feudal Age playstyle.
He still needs another
last match.
few minutes probably. This push is pretty all in, like huge investment.
The good news is, though, he did just notice Hera's extra town center there as well. Is starting to throw up a tower to start getting a little bit more aggressive about that, and then can just, again, continue the bunny hop with the rams, keep building those towers up and continuing the push with the rams to actually just basically push Hera into a corner, essentially.
This tower hurts a lot as well. That's his last gold, I believe. And he can still go for this one, but
a little bit away from everything at this stage to really kind of hold
exposed.
on to.
In case few scouts come or few archers, all your wills are pretty much dead. Let's see here. Nice micro here. Scorpion will be tricky to kill for Viper. Split again. Hey, just that's also a good play. Just decides to go close to a Mangonel. Okay. Not too bad. Fine for each player, I guess.
Good micro. Both players managing to hold on to what they had there.
Second
Not
stable,
too many
so
lost.
Viper's going all in Feudal Age. He wants to go for a TC.
Well, he's got the rams at this stage. That's really all he
might
needs,
as well
right?
go for it. Yeah, makes sense. If he get another tower here, then he could go for it. For now, the Wills can still snipe the ram under the TC. Even though they might get damaged a bit by the tower, you can take some HP losses.
Alright, here we go. This is the next push. Viper really trying to find some way to do this one and needs to take out this town center, really kind of cement it. Oof, a
Nice
good
shot.
hit there, and second good hit. Third good hit.
I mean, it was 2 Mangonels for like 8 archers and a spear. So
we'll call it a good trade.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part is that this Siege Workshop is kind of unavailable to produce anything from it now, because anytime Hera makes a Mangonel and sends it out, it will just get sniped by scouts here. And the push is here right now, so tower will see it coming. You can send some scouts in there.
This is just getting so hard for Hera. He's getting boxed in now. These towers has pushed him off stone, it's pushed him off the gold. The Rams getting ready to move forward as well onto the town center here. A couple of scouts there as well. Hera throws up a defensive tower as best he can, but has to force to garrison the TC now as well.
Yeah.
Scout's just going to continue to run around now under the TC, not really take any damage.
Tower doesn't need to really do anything.
Yeah, villagers get pulled to repair the town center and have to try and keep the Rams from dying.
Yeah. He's idling all his economy, so... Also, Viper has 900 gold almost, so once he gets a market up, he can easily go up to Castle Age. Yeah, there you go.
And there's the market. Bang on cue.
Up any second, probably.
And battering rams, again, just looking for somewhere to kind of really do some damage.
Yeah.
Small little farming economy still up from Hera and his main base, otherwise been pretty much routed from there very, very easily.
Yeah.
Knights looks like they're looking for an opportunity here against the Rams.
He's gonna snipe the Rams now, that's very nice. Actually, he's not gonna kill them.
Yeah, I was going to say that tower just got garrisoned, so that Rams probably both going to survive this one. They just have such bulk HP, and I understand that now it's at least Castle Age units.
Oh, could have gone for it, I believe.
Went for it, but the villagers in there with their repairs as well. Viper, though, complete map control at this stage. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. And there we go, like you said, he's bought his way up. Off to Castle Age now.
Second tower, that's what he needs to push. And I think he was probably still making, should probably still make some archers to garrison in here. So just the towers shoot 5 arrows each time they shoot.
So what's the play then? Do you think Viper booms up behind this, or he goes for the kill?
I think the safest approach would be just to boom up behind.
So he's done the damage, he's already essentially...
He has all the
he's
map control in the world.
it.
But If you, I mean, it's kind of tricky because if you just boom behind, you're gonna lose all this control to like knights and few ramps. So I don't think, not even sure if booming is the safest approach. I think going for the kill here is probably the right option.
So do you think a transition into something like Mangonels,
yeah,
where you
for
can
sure.
kind
Like
of control
knights
the battlefield a little
probably
bit more?
knights actually. Yeah,
And
it's going
just
for
start
knights.
slowly pushing down into those towers?
Yeah. You already have 2 ramps, you have 3 towers, in a perfect position to push the next TC, his last gold, so why not just go for the kill right away, you know? He's making bloodlines and +1.
Right.
Will you go for Kipchaks is the question. These upgrades look like Kipchaks, honestly.
He's nearly got the stone for it, so he could
Yeah.
drop an aggressive castle down,
Yeah.
use that to push
yeah,
the
I
TC,
mean,
and then push from there, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's got the staging point, like he's got those 2 towers there to help
Yeah.
defend it.
Castle here would be deadly for Hera. Would lose another all of this, then he would have no space at all.
That's it, like look at what he's been pushed back into
I mean,
as is.
I'm not sure what he wants to accomplish with that, like 4th CC, like, sure you might get some more vills out, better boom, but where do you place your villages, you know, like...
Yeah, what do you do when you run out of space?
Much rather make a second mangonel or like more knights and buy some resources and push all this back. 'Cause now you're kind of trapped in here.
So it looks like at this stage, Ball's essentially in Hera's court. Yes, he's got more village account, he's building them up quicker, but he needs to find a way out of this mess at the moment. Viper can just basically start putting the squeeze on. Like we were saying, that aggressive castle, he's already got 450 stone in the bank, and he can just begin to work with that one, and it's just going to be such an issue to come up against.
Ooh, this raid
And there's the raid in the base as well. We were talking about that small farming area.
We'll have to move those as well, since knights are probably coming. Yeah, knights coming.
And there you go, camels from Viper, actually, in terms of the switch.
Does he have 2 TCs? Oh, he doesn't have 2 TCs. Oh,
Does have
here
the
comes
stone for a castle. There's the
Bought
castle. So he's got the castle coming up.
Yeah, and then he will run to
Hera
TC.
must be able to see that, but what can he do against it? He's got the rams there as well, which are going to get covered by the castle fire now.
Yeah, and Barracks isn't the answer to Kipchaks. I mean, Kipchaks are really bad, but they still do fine against Pikes.
And he's got a couple of camels out, so he should be able to deal with these knights easy enough, which is going to make... This is just a world of pain at the moment for Hera.
Yeah. Mangonel coming out, but just too late, I believe. Sure, you might be able to kill 1 ram, but TC is gonna fall regardless. Once this castle is up, you can't repair it anymore, because castle is just gonna kill your vills. Waiting here.
Yeah, there you go, all the villagers from his base have essentially been routed from there as well.
Only 13 vills, not enough to make a difference here, honestly. All this economy is kinda in one spot.
Alright, and Castle is pretty much getting there for Viper now. There's not really too much that we can see Hera do about it. This is a real issue behind it. We do have those 2 battering rams in the front there as well. Look, the economy is good for Hera, but at the moment, he just needs something to be able to actually push this back. And like you were saying, Barracks against Kipchaks, really not kind of the answer we're looking for there in that town center.
Not really either. Like, you just gotta go skirms or like... Actually, Mangonels can do decent, but... You only need 1 shot to one-shot them, because they only have 40 HP. Well, actually 60 HP with Bloodlines, I believe.
Alright, both the rams have been dealt with, but the
Kipchak's
castle's up. He's
up.
buyed all the time he needs here. Kipchaks are on the way. And did he put any more town centers up back at home as well, or is Viper just completely committed to this
He's
one
adding
now?
a new TC, so he's playing it safe, I would say.
Yeah, so he's got that
Pushing
second
first
one.
and then still adding economy. Probably a good play. Market only now from Hera. He probably has like 2k wood in the bank and no gold. He has no access to any gold. House this one as well, so just in case. Hera can't take this one either. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough.
Looking very bleak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Hera
Look
still
at that
does have,
Kipchak.
look, the village account on his side. Viper's starting to finally get up into some extra TCs.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, Viper just needs to keep putting the squeeze on and just make it harder and harder. Those Kipchaks are out in play now. And potentially it looks like as well, I'm actually seeing some Step Lancers in production too. So he's going to be able to push forward with those and really just keep pushing in, doing the damage, and just reducing all the land that Hera has to work with here, and eventually essentially just starve him absolutely dry of all the resources. And at that point, Hera's got nothing he can really do to deal with this.
Yeah. I mean, sure you might have more villages and maybe a bit better economy on wood and food, but what are you gonna do with those, you know? You don't really have gold. You gotta buy all your gold. You can't really make any units because you don't really have archery range units out either.
And the other thing with the space as well, it just means he can't continue to start getting military buildings up as well. He has no room to actually really go into a tech switch here.
And he can't buy gold forever because the price is gonna get worse and worse forever. At some point he's just gonna have to buy 14 gold for 100 wood, which is not something you want to do.
So Step Lance is back in play, did receive a pretty big nerf in terms of the last patch, but still doing what they need to do. They've got that little bit of extra range, so they can get onto the Mangonels a little bit quicker, and they have been cleaned up though a little bit by the looks of things.
Speed up here again.
So just catching up with the game here as well, guys. Viper just continuing to pump out essentially military units.
Checks.
He's got the economy rolling behind this as well. So Hera, it's really up to Hera here to make some kind of play that really pushes him back into the game here.
Yeah, and this is just way too hard to play. Like, you can't really protect your mangonel from stab lances. They just hit from 1,000 miles, it feels, as melee units. And just snipe your mangonel so easily.
And that's it. Look, this is what we were talking about earlier. He's got these range units now, so he can just kind of dodge around, do what damage he can to really kind of push it through. So Hera, what's the question? I think he's got an extra TC coming up over here on the edge as well. By the looks of things.
This is pretty nice.
So he does have a TC
that's one way to come back.
A little bit outside the grasp, I guess.
Yeah. I'm surprised Viper didn't send any units there. Now he is, but...
Well, that's it. He's seen it now, so
now
say goodbye, basically.
I mean, he kind of has to get our crossbows out. Maybe even skirmishers, but ideally crossbows. Because crossbows beat keep checks pretty easily. Mangas are still like, yeah, they do fine if you get some bada booms, but not guaranteed you really get a hit on those keep checks.
Viper throwing up another castle as well. Looks like he's really just kind of trying essentially complete the wall essentially that's stopping Hera being able to really kind of gain any resource behind this.
Trying to get out here. Unblock the ram! Unblock the ram! Is the ram hitting? No, it's not hitting.
Oh, that's going to be rough, actually.
Actually, the castle's hitting the ram, man. Ram blocking all. He's
We've got those step lances on the other side. Yeah, this is rough. This is forcing them past that. He's got the rams there to deal with the town center as well. Yeah, that absolutely stings. Basically, salt in the wounds at this stage. Anywhere you can get out of, I can find you. I can best you from here, essentially, is the play. We do have, it looks like, Hera moving into skirmishes as well, so he will have at least an option to kind of fight in against the Kipchaks. But where can he build up to from here? He's starting to reclaim what's left of his base.
This is the finishing blow. If this castle gets up, the game is over. Because you have no access to gold. This gold you can't take. This one you can't take.
To space.
This one you can't take. Yeah, no space. Not even for farms.
This has been a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
And again, just raiding in against the villagers where he can, pushing him back, keeping him in his little hole here. And behind that as well, 4 TCs from Viper, so really starting to keep pushing those villagers out. So he's in a really good situation to keep pushing that as well. So he's basically starting to get, he's got the villager count lead back as well. He's up to 99 versus the 82.
Yeah, this game looks pretty over.
Yeah, that's it. At this point, it's just waiting to see if Hera has some kind of magic to pull out of the sack at this stage, but not looking very likely. And say goodbye to Mangonel.
Game over. GG.
And there we go. The GG has been called. Viper will take the series 3-1. Great ingenuity by Viper, though, coming up with a specific civilization, specific map that he really wants to work with to kind of get the win. But GG from our players there. Good games overall. Hera, you put up a fantastic fight, but it looks like Viper's really taken the lead here and proven exactly why he's so good at this game with his way of strategy and his way of actually debating for his matchups.
Yeah. It was small things, honestly. Small things which add up, which just snowball out of control in the end. Like the castle rush in the, what game was it? Valley game ended up not working out. You lose your castles. You get only 1 castle in trade. Then Viper has 4 castles to protect his eco. You don't have any against Han's raiding. It's just impossible to play. First game, what was first game again?
Our first game was Arabia.
Arabia, what was the matchup there again?
It was Aztecs and Huns.
Yeah, that. I mean, going Cav archers against Aztecs who just have 2 ranges up and skirms and archers, like you lose all your map control. Like you might boom behind the 3 TCs, but it doesn't matter if you have no map control, no eco. So just small. Let's check the stats. Obviously, economy, military, more units killed, buildings raised 18. Something you don't see too often either. Largest army. Yeah, I mean, Hera did have more wood, more food, but... yeah. Oh, you can't see it yet. There you go. Okay, so repeat everything. Units killed, quite close, but 18 buildings raised, so that's something.
Exactly, and even then behind that as well, the
Hera
economy was in
collected
favor
more
of
wood,
Viper.
more food, but it didn't matter if you don't have gold and stone to make any units. Yeah, I mean, 15-minute castle age is nice, but he just made the wrong units. Like, he made an archery range and then a stable. Like, was kind of both pretty useless. Relics collected. Was going for late game as well, just to secure the win. So yeah. Interview, true.
So we're going to set Liereyy up for an interview here, because I've seen in the chat that's what everyone wanted. So we'll get Liereyy interviewing Viper. We'll get some extreme high-def level questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, it's a fantastic series overall. Really enjoyed every game that happened in there. Viper bringing again those strategies to the table where they're just a little bit out of the box, a little bit different, which is fantastic. Hera putting up a great fight in all the games as well. I definitely wouldn't say it was a one-way game, but at the end of the day, what happened, happened, and we had some great play from both people. End of the day, there were some great games for us, a couple of little issues in there, but very, very happy with how this is ran. Thank you everyone in the chat, appreciate it. And we'll send you over to Liereyy and Viper for a winner's interview.
Oh,
Yeah, I know that. I think we're on. Yeah, you see, I'm improving.
okay.
Live stream.
Okay, we should be
Okay,
on.
now we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations, your
Thank you.
victory.
Thank
3-1.
you.
I got some questions in my mind.
I'm okay, come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which ones those are.
You got a couple in your mind, but you're trying to think which one they are.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the right order. So
Okay.
let's just move on to the first game. Arabia, true, Arabia.
Yes.
Chinese, no, not Chinese. Huns against
Huns
Aztecs.
against
Yeah,
Aztecs,
Huns
yes.
against Aztecs. I can hear the
They're
laugh.
not laughing about you.
Yeah, no, totally not, totally not. Man, it's hard, man. I'm not used to this casting or interviewing. So you went for Aztecs,
Yes,
and he went for Huns,
correct.
apparently.
What's the question?
I'm thinking, man, wait. Yeah, he went Kev Archers in Castle Age. That's what I wanted to ask. What do you think about that play? He went,
Right.
I think, Drush? No,
No,
Man at Arms?
remember it was Man at Arms fight,
Yeah,
and then
Man at Arms fight.
Yeah, and then into Archers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Archers. I don't think it was wrong. I just think it didn't make enough of them.
Yeah, in my opinion, you already had your skirms and Archers out.
Yeah.
So upgrading them to skirms was just another benefit of him going Kev Archers. So it didn't really make sense for me.
I thought he was going behind the crossbow.
Yeah, I would expect that as well.
That was when I saw the Archers. I was very happy.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah. So yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I think Couches aren't bad, but he needs to add something else to counter the skirms faster.
Yeah. Then he went kind of fast imp, in my opinion. I didn't even see the imp. I was just
In game one?
yeah. I mean, not fast imp for you, but yeah,
He went fast imp.
imp.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was like, for me, the imp just came very surprisingly. What do you think about that? He just didn't make.
I was a little bit surprised,
Yeah,
but then again,
me
I didn't think he could do much with the imp because I don't think he had the
that's-
economy
yeah.
and Cavalier. I don't know. I think he lost the game in Castle Age when he suddenly lost his whole army and everything.
Yeah, that's why I didn't agree with the Kev Archers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Second game, moving on. What game was that, man?
Second game was his first home map,
his
Valley.
first home map.
No,
Valley,
no,
true.
it was not. Was
No,
it?
not?
Oh yeah, it was Valley.
Yeah,
it was Valley.
yeah.
True.
Now Chinese against Hans.
Hans, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you went for Drush and couldn't really do anything with it. What did you... Were you planning to go Drush when you... Were you going into the game, or was it just like... you saw he had a bad map or a hilly map you just wanted to go Drush for and...
Nah, he was Chinese. I just wanted to like
Put pressure
make
early,
sure he
basically.
doesn't get to the middle, take
Yeah.
deer, and maybe keep him busy a little bit. I mean, Hera is a scouts player, so he's fairly easy to read in that regard.
Yeah.
With Chinese, I expect him to go scouts. I figured just Drush Flush and take it from there should be an okay game for me.
So the Drush didn't really do anything. They were just hitting walls, basically.
Yep.
And you lost 2 wheels quite early to scouts, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Sloppy.
Yeah. So, but then there was one moment which I thought which was pretty bad from him. What are you guys laughing about, man? Focus on your setup, which was pretty bad in my opinion because he lost
From him?
like 2.5 scouts
Okay.
sniping 1 villager when he already had the villager lead and the army control.
Next to the mill, right?
Yeah, next to the mill when he
yeah.
ate the 1 spear forever.
I agree.
So then you were kind of like free to do whatever you wanted because you had more
Yes.
army, more skirms, more archers,
Mhm.
and you could just pressure him. What was were you like happy that he lost his scouts there, or were you like?
No, I was sad he lost his scouts. Of course I was
I
happy.
have one question, man. I put it in the wrong order, man. What did you think about when he lost those 2 scouts? Were you
I mean, it
sad
was,
that you lost the will, or were you happy that you killed 2 scouts from the half?
I was happy I killed the scouts.
Makes sense.
No, okay, to put it... Right, how do I answer this question?
Perfect question. Can't even answer
So
it.
I knew I had like a military advantage. I was just
Yeah.
keep putting the pressure, try to make it a long game. It went kind of a little bit over the board in the Castle Age. I didn't add enough production buildings, so I was outproduced in Castle Age. But luckily his first castle didn't go up. If his first castle opened up...
You're ruining my question, man.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on then. I want to hear you ask the question.
Let me think. My original question was, what did you think about the first castle? No, of his castle play, because he did have good army, and you obviously wanted to trap him there. And
I think if he was super confident in taking that fight before, like he was standing with Villese for a long time trying to build it.
Yeah.
So I think if he was able to kill my army faster or something, then it would have made sense.
I mean, the fight didn't go bad for him. He was on the hill.
Yeah, it was
with
decent.
crossbows, and you were downhill shooting with your cav
but
archers.
I think he could have taken an even a little bit further back and safer
Yeah,
castle,
that's
and he would have
true,
had done exactly the same.
And then basically late game it was just 5 castle protection economy against 0 castle. So pretty straightforward there. Next game was Land Madness.
Correct.
Mains against Mongols. So it turned out that you always have deers near berries now. Did you know that when you were picking Mongols?
I played the show match with DauT and TaToH, where deer was pretty close. I wasn't sure if that was the case. No, because I scouted the map when I played there, and I saw TaToH had deer and berries everywhere around the town center.
So I was surprised as well.
Yeah, so I figured, okay, I'll just try Mongols. If I have a good map, then I can get theirs. If not, then I don't know. Yeah. So I lost too many vills early on, so it was just like I had to go YOLO.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to say there. You had kind of were forced to do some YOLO strategy since you lost too many vills. And he just ended up defending it and counter-raiding it nicely. Last game was Arena. So there's some question to ask.
Which ones?
Yeah, let me think. Did you plan this strategy? Like, did you know you were gonna do this strategy when you picked the map? Like, were you like, have you tried it yet? Or was this the first time?
It was not my plan. It was if I was in the lead, I would do it.
Okay.
But if I was losing, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Okay.
I was laying in bed this morning thinking about strategies and what maps to pick and what strategy to do, and this strategy came to mind, and I figured. But I thought he would go Malay. I was surprised. I was surprised he went Britons. Yeah, I thought he would go Malay, and I wanted to do it against Malay, but then he went Britons, and I guess it didn't change my plan. But I realized at the same time some faults with it. So when I do it next time, it's going to be better.
Okay, good to know. What do you think Hera could have done better in the last game to defend against it?
I'm not sure if the siege, the battering rams caught him completely off guard. Cause
I think it did.
Yeah, because the range.
The range.
Yeah, the range and the tower kind of like. He got kind of too. He lost all his production to delay. Yeah, he couldn't delay anything I did after that. So I think I could have just also transitioned to Castle Age earlier and won the game. But I wanted to try and play with scouts and a little bit. But I thought the game was over quite early there.
Yeah,
but he did get some eco going on the outside. But still, I don't think he had. Yeah, I don't think he had too much position anyway. So it was fine.
Yeah. Well, that was about it.
Best interview ever.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some improvements to make on the interview. Maybe also on the guys who choose who to make the interview with.
I think that's the biggest one.
But yeah, I will wrap it up here. I will give the microphone to Nili because I don't know what to say anymore. Like.